High school football is on there. This evening live from Burns High School, the Bronx will play host to the Glenrock Herders in 2A Eastern Conference action. High school football on 1480 KRAE is being brought to you by our fine sports sponsors. Now let's send it to Eastern Laramie County and Burns High School for an Eastern Conference clash in 2A football as the Burns Bronx play host to the Glenrock Herders. Before the opening kickoff, let's check in with our pregame show right here on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. Burns High School, Capital Roofing Field. I'm Larry Proietti, the semi-retired Larry Proietti, back at it again this evening, along with Sonny Boy Nick Proietti. Hey, we got 2A action. Kind of like golf, Nick. We get a mulligan. We get to come back and get Burns on our schedule. We lost them against Mitchell here on the second weekend of the season because of the COVID outbreak, but we get them here tonight in conference action as they take on the Glenrock Herders.
Yeah, thankfully, again, Burns will be in action. They were in action last week as well, too, on the road against Tongue River, where unfortunately they did lose against the Eagles. So, again, Burns, though, at home looking for their first victory here of the 2021 campaign. Again, we go back to that Mitchell. At least let's size it up for Burns, again, coming in this contest. They're 0-3. Again, one of their losses was that forfeit, which, again, equated to Mitchell scoring 1 point, Burns nothing due to the COVID outbreak here in Burns. So, with that being said, though, Burns back at home looking for their first victory, and again a huge conference possible victory that they need again against this Glenrock Herders team.
Now the Herders come in, they're 2-1. They beat the Casper Natrona Mustangs sophomore JV squad. They beat them in Glenrock. Then they went to Pinedale and took on the Wranglers and beat them in Pinedale. Then they got taken out to the woodshed against the Torrington Trailblazers. Again, that's not a bad thing because Torrington, year in, year out, has been a pretty doggone good program. They got walloped 34-0 last week.
Torrington that moves up and down classifications from 2A, 3A. So, again, as we see more and more of this realignment in the lower classifications in 3A, 2A, 1A. So, with that being said, though, again, an impressive 2-1, though. Again, a team that's absolutely gunning. That's going to be no slouch here against Burns. Obviously, they're looking to pick up and kind of spoil and play that, at least get that road victory here in Burns.
And Glenrock under new first-year head coach Paul Downing, who came from Colorado. So, again, trying to change that culture, that atmosphere in Glenrock. Again, a little tiny hamlet of about 2,600 people. So, again, he brings out a pretty good-sized football team. Burns, again, dressing a good-sized contingent as well for tonight. So, looking forward to this game. And, again, here you are. You got an 0-1 conference game between both teams. You got to win. And the bottom line is you need about 3-4 conference wins to move on to get into the playoffs. So every game now is an important contest. I was on the field earlier talking with Coach Downing, and again, walking on the field, he is a team we're going to see a lot of power eye. Yeah. They like to run the football. Here at Burns, well, we grow the grass a little bit bigger, and it's a little more. If you look at the turf from where we're at, Nick, it looks a little more choppier out there. So
yes.
Does it bode well for the pass game as opposed to the running game? Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Again, obviously, a lot different than what we're used to in Class 4A with the all-weather turf and, again, the even grass lake. So here, absolutely, we saw last season against Tongue River, again, where Burns had difficulty, or again, it seemed like both teams had difficulty getting the run game established, at least in that early contest. So we'll see what happens. Again, will it benefit Burns? Burns, where, again, talking to Coach Morris said, again, the pass game still kind of work in progress. They're still relying on the run.
Yeah.
And again, you talk about Glenrock, again, they're going to be run heavy. So, again, could we see another low-scoring affair between these two, again, as we saw last time we were here in Burns against Tongue River and the Bronx?
Well, you need Jackson Kirkbride. You need his hands tonight. And Kay David, he needs to deliver the football to him. And we saw those two youngsters hook up last year when we did the Tongue River game. And also, too, Riley McLaughlin, he's going to have to get started as well on the ground for the Burns Bronx. This evening's contest on 1480 KRAE, and again, as we are live streaming the contest as well, being brought to you by Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A across from Powers Field on Windmill Road, Page and Zach Lane at Number One Properties, Pete's Builders, 2 doors down, Kia of Cheyenne, Platte Valley Bank, Medicap Pharmacy, High West Energy, First Tier Bank, the Gilt Window Company, Mary's Mountain Cookies, AARP, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, MHP LLP, Laramie County Community College, Halliday Motors, Burns Insurance Company, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Lennox Auto Body, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, Charles Schwab, the LCCC Flight Crew, our good friend Billy, and Taco John's, our scoreboard sponsor. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll kick off our pregame show as we will get a chance to talk with Pine Bluffs Athletic Director Will Gray. We'll check in that conversation after this 60-second timeout. You are listening to football action on 1480 KRAE and watching football action as well right here on 1480 KRAE.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Fat Boys Tire and Auto.
When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and we offer your family the best selection and service in the region with expert advice and quality work done right the first time. Get price quotes and schedule service at fatboystires.com.
Before you go flat, you better go fat. Fat Boys Tire and Auto.
Larry Proietti with Athletic Director Will Gray, a man who wears many hats at Pine Bluffs High School, as we get a chance to do our Athletic Director's Report. And Will, thanks for joining us on the program. Real quick, let's talk about what's going on in the tiny little hamlet of Pine Bluffs. Again, as I've talked with our athletic directors here in Cheyenne, we had a chance to talk to Barry Ward and Burns. COVID-19, the Delta variant. Again, just when we thought it was safe to go back into the water. Real quick, how's things going out in your part of the world?
It's day to day. Every time my phone rings, and I'm sure the Barry and the ADs in Cheyenne will tell you the same thing. Every time your phone rings, your heart sinks a little bit because you don't know what you're going to get told on the other end. But, at some point, you just find a way to deal with it and move on and do what's best for kids.
Will, especially in your part of the world, limited fall, summer sports, similar to what we would have over here, again, limited. But, again, looking at your student athletes, a lot of these kids have other things to do in life, but you still get them out. Tell us a little bit how the participation is for your fall and summer sports.
It's very, very good. Even going down to the junior high level, we have quite a few volleyball girls. Our junior high football team is kind of small, but there's just not a lot of boys in those two classes. It's got nothing to do with kids not wanting to play football. It's just there's not a ton of boys in those classes. And then, in high school football, we're up to 36 or 37 kids, which is a big number for us. High school volleyball, we're pushing 25, 26, somewhere in there. And cross country has a pile of kids. So the participation level is very, very good for us.
My question would be next is, where do you draw from? Just Pine Bluffs only?
We have kids that live, in the county, outside of our city limits. I think this year we got a few more kids from Carpenter than we typically get that checked into 7th grade. And every year we get a few kids from Alban. Mostly, in our area, but we do get some outliers that maybe want to change of scenery or something.
One of the questions I've asked our athletic directors, especially here with Laramie County School District number 1, and now we'll go with Laramie County School District number 2, athletic budgets. Now, I know when I talked with Barry, they had already prepared back in 2020 and, again, saved a little bit of money. What about in your case? Did you get affected by some budget cuts?
Kind of the same thing. We saw them kind of looming on the horizon, and we tried to be proactive with things. When COVID hit, in the spring of was that 19 or 20, whenever it was, we kind of used, there was no state FBLA, no state track and things like that. So we kind of used that money to kind of forecast a little bit. Okay, this program needs this type of stuff. This program needs this. So we're able to spend some of that, for future uses for our programs. And I think we did a really good job of kind of forecasting that out. And, we'll see what the legislature comes back with and during the winter, during their session, and, we'll just adjust and make the best out of it.
Let's talk about adjusting. Now I'm going to flip your hat around here as the head football coach. And again, getting into the Class 1A 9-man. So, again, after playing 11-man football for many, 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 many years at Pine Bluffs High School, you dipped into Class 1A 9-man last season, doing it again this year. Is that still a learning process for you, or do you feel pretty comfortable on how you're setting your teams up both offensively and defensively?
It's a little bit of both. We're comfortable with who we are because 9-man fits our roster really, really well. We don't have any big kids. I mean, if you look at our roster, we have 2 kids over 200 pounds. We just got some tall, skinny kids that can run, and that fits the 9-man game, especially playing on a regulation field, 50 by 100. But there is still a learning curve, especially defensively and special teams, just because there's more space. But we feel good with where we're at, but we're learning something new every week, especially special teams, Fortunately for us, we have a kicker that can, kick it in the end zone and get touchbacks, and he's a good punter, which helps us. But if you can't put it in the end zone, you better kick it on the ground because there's so much space to cover, and the return game is huge.
So far, so good for the Hornets here in the early part of the campaign. Eastern Conference, size up the Eastern Conference, and let's put you up there in the top. Teams to beat.
The simple answer is everybody every week. But we play Saratoga this week. They're 2-0. They've kind of changed what they're doing on offense from a year ago. Lots of 2 tight end stuff. Really run heavy. And for us, we're not the biggest. We got to be able to tackle, and that's our challenge every week. And then the following week we're at Southeast, which is always a big game for us. And then 2 weeks from now we host Shoshone at home, and that's Southeast and Shoshone are going to be the gauge to see where we're at because they both run the ball well. They're both a lot bigger than we are, and we'll just find out where we're at when we play those 2 teams.
And final thought, and thank you again, Coach, for joining us, and Athletic Director. Let's talk about the speed of the game. Is there any difference between 9-man and 11-man? Does the game go faster, slower? What's your opinion on it?
No, I don't think. The only difference that I see is there's 4 less bodies on the field and there's more space. Offensively, we run the same stuff we did when we were 11-man. Obviously, it changes year to year with your personnel, but the same concepts. Angles are a little different. When you're talking pass protection, you have 2 less guys on the line, so that end is a little closer to the quarterback. So pass pro is a little more important. But as far as we can tell, it's the same. It's just 4 less bodies on the field, and you're still blocking, tackling, and running different schemes on offense. And in our league, in the Eastern Conference at least, we see a lot of variety of offense, and it's kind of fun. We don't see the same thing week after week.
Pine Bluffs Athletic Director / football coach and man who wears many hats over at Pine Bluffs High School. That's Will Gray joining us on our pregame show. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more right after this on 1480 KRAE.
Come in from the heat. We have what's cool right here at Kia of Cheyenne. I'm AJ Miller, and we have the new 2022 Kia Seltos compact SUV at a cool price. All-wheel drive, responsive handling, and great fuel economy make this vehicle worth the adventure. Compare standard features for the money with other brands in its class. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
C is for everyone. It's a place to create a new path, rediscover a passion, or train for new experiences. We provide accessible learning opportunities that guide our students to a successful career. Here, you are led through a pathway, a journey you select based on your goals. You will explore your interests, share experiences with peers, and discover career possibilities with support and guidance from our whole team and from our greater community. Find your path to new opportunities at LCCC.
Right now, we're talking to our opposing coach for this evening of the Glenrock Herders. He's first-year head coach Paul Downing. And, Coach, you came from Coleridge High School in Colorado, again in Newcastle, Colorado. And, again, you also spent some time in Alt Colorado. So You're no stranger to small market football.
Oh, not at all. No. I'm originally from Michigan. The high school I went to was very much the same size as Glenrock and some of those other schools. I really enjoy coaching at the smaller schools. I just think that when you just coach up the guys that you have and you learn to make those kids better, it has a different feel to it, and it's a unique challenge as a coach.
Coach, let me ask you a question that it probably has a yay or nay answer to it, but having spent time in Colorado, is the football, the brand a little bit different from Wyoming football that you've seen just, 3 weeks into the season? Is it a faster game, more passing? What did you see different in Colorado as opposed to Wyoming thus far?
Honestly, I would say it's really similar to where I was coaching at most recently, out on the western slope. You have a mix of teams. You have some teams that pass the ball, spread it out. You have some teams that really are more run-heavy and physical. I would say the style of play and the quality of the player is very much equal.
Coach, as you had to get acclimated to this 2A East, and again, matter of fact, your first conference game against one of the perennial teams that does very well, the Torrington Trailblazers, and they handed you your first loss of the season. But you look at other names on that schedule: Bighorn, Wheatland. This Class 2A East is pretty loaded with a lot of good football teams.
Oh, most definitely. We're not looking past anybody. This is a program that over time is going to be built. And at Glenrock, we're trying to install things essentially brick by brick and game by game. And we didn't play very well last week, so our most important game is the very next one. So we're not looking past really any team.
Coach, as you look against, game film against Torrington as you prepare for the Burns Bronx, but things that you saw that came away from that game like we could have done things a little bit better?
I don't know if we could have played much worse against Torrington. It really kind of was a perfect storm. I think as a coach, you prepare and you prepare your players during the week, and you hope for a good outcome when the game comes on Friday. And I think this last week was one of those circumstances where players and coaches would agree that once the game hit, a lot of really unfortunate things happened for us, and it really wasn't the game plan that we installed during the week.
Coach, unfortunately, being in your profession right now, coaching high school football, last year we go through COVID-1, and you were in Colorado at that time, and of course here we were able to play football at its normal time. But you look at COVID-2 that is coming around, keeping the kids healthy. What's the message to the kids to make sure that they don't come down with this Delta variant?
Well, I don't think really. I think what everybody's finding out is that the virus is going to do what it's going to do, and all you can do as an individual is take precautions and stay healthy, and all of the measures that are recommended by the school and the community health and that sort of thing. And that's really all that we're doing is just trying to keep players healthy and do things the smart way. And boy, I think just like everybody else in the world and in the United States, we just hope that this runs its course and we can go back to the life as we knew it before.
And final thought, as you take on the Burns Bronx, and of course Burns, matter of fact, we were scheduled to carry them a couple weeks ago, and that game got canceled against Mitchell, Nebraska. So, in talking with Coach Morrison, it's almost like we have to start over again. So looking at the schedule right now, and I know they played last week as they lost to the Tongue River Eagles. Do you think from a conference standpoint, even though you're making that long travel down to Burns, Wyoming, do you think you're catching them at the right time? Because, again, you're just not sure, how polished they are.
I wouldn't say that. I would say we're treating it as a very important game with a formidable opponent. When you look at their game versus Tongue River last week, that was a back-and-forth game that was really competitive, and neither team really had the upper hand. Burns is a good opponent. They have a good offense, really strong quarterback and skill positions, and they can do a lot of things that would hurt you. So we're really looking at it as a challenge, and we're going to go in there focused, and we're going to play better than we did last week.
That's Glenrock Herders' first-year head coach Paul Downing joining us on our pregame show. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We will check in with comments from Brad Morrison of the Burns Bronx after the 60-second timeout. You're listening to High School Football on 1480 KRAE.
Hey Cheyenne, it's Brendan from Pete's Builders here. As you're probably aware, your neighborhood was just struck by Mother Nature. We've already begun receiving calls to come out and inspect for hail damage in your area. Before you let just anybody hop on your roof to take a look, please understand that we are a locally licensed and insured company that has done business in Cheyenne for nearly a decade. Call us now to schedule your free inspection while we still have availability. Don't be the owner of the roof that gets left behind.
Call 307-514-5489 or go online to petesbuilders.com.
Hey guys. He's not wearing anything.
What? Hi, I'd like to order a hot chocolate, please. What? Are you...
Right now we get a chance to talk with fourth-year head coach at Burns High School, Bronx head man, Brad Morrison. You know, Brad, when we're playing golf, like on a casual note, we usually get a mulligan between friends. But unfortunately, in high school football, when you get hit with with COVID-2 now, you don't get that mulligan. You get a loss in the column. So I guess what I'm coming out of the box with my first question, how much did that situation where we lost that game against Mitchell put you behind the 8 ball as you got ready for Tongue River last week?
Yeah, we lost a few days of practice. That hurts early in the year. Just not having, we had 11 kids at practice and just had a bunch of guys who went into like 8 days in a row off and got them back on Wednesday. Still felt like, we had a chance to win that game, but just at this point in the year, practice is so valuable. So not having as much practice time as you possibly can doesn't help you for sure.
Coach, as I look back on the situation where we were supposed to be there for Mitchell, Nebraska, and Burns, and now we'll get you in a conference game against the Herders, which we'll talk in a little bit. But I almost feel like I'm redoing my pregame show with you from a couple of weeks ago. So as we look back at last year's class, 2 seniors graduated. A lot of underclassmen got some great playing time under your direction. So let's talk about some of the kids that we'll be looking for to do big things for the Burns Bronx this season.
Yeah, Caden David comes back as our quarterback in his second year. He's looked really good at times. We just got to be more consistent with footwork and our reads. But he's super talented, and I think he's starting to hit his stride. He's throwing to Cooper Lakin, who's a junior, who had a bunch of catches last week and is pretty dynamic with the football, really good at competing for the ball and blocks very well. And then Cody Hape and Jackson Kirkbride, both good speed guys out wide. They can catch it. We have a lot of talented skill kids, especially on offense. We just we're trying to get those guys touches consistently. We're battling drops a little bit, some effort plays, but you hope you work those things out once you can put it on film and kind of show them, which we've now been able to do twice. And I think other young guys that are playing well, Riley McLaughlin playing well both ways, playing running back and linebacker, but last week, Dedrick Nichols, a sophomore, came in and started free safety and had 14 tackles and a pass breakup against a pretty good team. He was outstanding, and then we expect big things from him. Definitely over the next 2 years. But I think we've developed. We're on our path, and certainly I hope to see him take a big step this week.
Coach, and again, we saw Tongue River last year. You had that opportunity to defeat them at Burns. you go up there, like you said, and just kind of rehashing a little bit. You had just a couple of days of practice with the squad to get ready. Your takeaways from that particular contest against the Eagles, and obviously, the score is pretty indicative that, hey, for missing all that time, your guys still played very well in the trenches.
Yeah, we held up. We held up pretty good. We protected pretty well, which is something we were concerned about. We sort of got worn down. We played tired definitely in the second half, and I think, some conditioning, missing that helped out. They were bigger than us. Pretty much everybody's going to be bigger than us. That's not, that can't be an excuse. But I think the one thing that I would say that was the difference there was execution. Dropping footballs, maybe pulling the wrong way up front. Stuff you would call little things, but they're really, really, really big things that we have to do. We have to know our job and do our job a lot better.
Coach, before we get into the Herders, let's talk about this East Division. This 2A East Division is pretty loaded right now with some good talent. Bighorn, traditionally, the Rams are at the top. The Trailblazers, they beat up on the Herders last week. Bulldogs out of Wheatland. Again, this is a loaded conference, but those three that I mentioned, they're the ones you got a gun for.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we need to win. You got to win 4 conference games to get in. So we're gonna have to knock somebody off, and I think we'll be ready for it. Like I said, with a young team, and it's still a young team. You're gonna be a lot better week 7, week 8 than you are week 2. This game this week's definitely a must-win game, but we got to treat every game like it. We have to improve our execution to be able to play with the talented teams we're going to play.
Torrington had their way with Glenrock. Glenrock came in undefeated against the Trailblazers, and then again they got shut out. So things that you saw on film that you might be able to expose both offensively, defensively. Again, Herders usually are a pretty decent team, so you never take anything for granted.
Yeah, they've got a tradition of being physical and running the football, and that's who they are. Torrington's a pretty good 3A team, so it was tough for them to match up with just the amount of kids that they have up there, good size and good athletes. And Torrington hurt them in the pass game. That's what we like to try to do. And then Torrington stopped their run game, and that's what we have to do to beat them. Glenrock's got good size, tough kids. I like their backs. Both their fullback and their running back are good kids with decent speed and really run really, really tough. But the thing that I see that's going to be the big matchup in the game is their linemen. Their 5 guys against our 5 guys. They're big, they're physical, they're older. So we need to hold up and protect and then get off blocks if we're going to have a chance against them.
Finally, Coach, here it is. Technically, it should be the 4th game of the season for the Burns Broncs. This is only going to be your 3rd game, but most importantly, it's your first home game. So how important is getting the Herders at home?
It's great. It's always better to have support than to hop on a bus in Wyoming and go God knows where up to some mountain town and get off the bus after 6.5 hours. Really looking forward to be home. Really looking forward to being able to take care of our guys like we do at home games and kind of feed off the energy and it's a fun place to play. I hope it's pretty packed and loaded and as much as we can and it's just better. There's nothing like Friday nights in your hometown. So really excited about it.
Those are the comments of head coach Brad Morrison of the Burns Broncs. Broncs and the Herders coming up in just a little bit. We're going to take a timeout. More of our pregame show coming up right here on 1480 KRAE.
Don't fumble with your family dinner tonight. Score extra points at Two Doors Down. Two Doors Down is wired for football season and with a menu that won't penalize your pocketbook. Two Doors Down menu selections are perfect for the active family, from gourmet burgers and bottomless fries to soups and salads to the all-new platters and, of course, your favorite beverages. Tackle your family's cravings tonight at Two Doors Down, 118 East 17th Street. For full menu and specials, go to twodoorsdown.net. Two Doors Down, flippin' great burgers since 2009.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
This weekend in the Mountain West Conference, all games to be played on Saturday. First off of the morning, it will be number 7 Texas A&M at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. The Aggies will play host to the New Mexico Lobos. Nevada pays a visit to Manhattan, Kansas, and taking on the Kansas State Wildcats at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. The Wyoming Cowboys will be at Jonah Field at War Memorial Stadium. They will entertain Ball State. Colorado State is on the road. They'll take on Toledo at the Glass Bowl in Toledo, Ohio. San Diego State at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California will entertain the Utah Utes. Utah State will take on Air Force in a conference clash at Falcon Stadium in Colorado Springs. Boise State at home to host Oklahoma State. Number 14, Iowa State will pay a visit to Las Vegas and take on the UNLV Rebels at Allegiant Stadium. In the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, number 13, UCLA will entertain the Fresno State Bulldogs, and another Mountain West clash will be laid on the islands in Hawaii in Honolulu as the Rainbows will entertain San Jose State. We'll take a timeout. More of our pregame show coming up right here on 1480 KRAE. 30 years of service and care for Cheyenne and the surrounding area continues at Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proietti for cars in downtown Cheyenne. This is the only place I take my vehicle for service, be it just an oil change, timing belt, checking on my heating air conditioning unit, and even to replace a burnt-out brake light bulb or worn-out windshield wipers. John and his staff are there to take care of most minor repairs. John is even a TechNet professional. What does that mean to you? He's one of the best when it comes to servicing your car or truck. Check out TechNetProfessional.com today. Open Monday through Friday at 604 West Lincoln Way or call Shine Auto Repair and Service for an appointment at 632-0498. No matter what tomorrow brings, some things won't change, like Schwab's commitment to see the world through clients' eyes. That commitment is why Schwab is always here for their clients with clear guidance and committed service to help maintain focus on achieving long-term goals. So whatever happens today, Schwab remains invested in you. Visit schwab.com/Cheyenne to learn how Schwab is ready to help. It's another weekend of high school football. In addition to our contest here at Burns High School between the Bronx and the Glenrock Herders, the Pine Bluff Hornets will be on the road in Class 1A 9-man East Conference action as they will be at Saratoga. We look at the Class 4A schedule. All of the Cheyenne teams will be on the road. The South High Fighting Bison will take on the Campbell County Camels. Cheyenne Central will also be in Gillette as they'll take on the Thunder Basin Bulls. The East High Thunderbirds have the short road trip as they go across the hill to take on the Laramie Plainsmen. Kelly Walsh and Casper Natrona will hook up in the annual Oil Bowl. That will be at Dick Cheney Alumni Field. And the Sheridan Bronx and the Rock Springs Tigers in what could be a preview of this year's state championship. The Sheridan Bronx will host the Rock Springs Tigers at Homer Scott Field. That's the lineup of high school football for you right here on 1480 KRAE. We'll take a timeout when we come back. The starting lineups between the Bronx and the Herders right here on 1480 KRAE. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne. Visit Halliday Subaru in Cheyenne. At Halliday Subaru, you'll find one of the largest Subaru selections in Wyoming, always at low Halliday common sense prices, including the most popular Subaru models like Outback, Forester, and the Ascent. View lease and finance specials online at HallidaySubaru.com. Then visit Halliday Subaru, Westland Road, Motor City, Cheyenne. Experience the Halliday difference, the beginning of hassle-free driving. Are you a High West Energy member? Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 on a gas-fired water heater, or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more, or call 307-245-3261.
In front of LCCC Athletics. You can find complete details at golccc.com. Go Eagles!
Burns Bronx High School football action right here on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne, also in Cheyenne, 101.1 FM, and we're streaming worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com. Nick Proietti, Larry Proietti, we are here. Burns Bronx, as they are in the home black uniforms with the orange numerals, wide outline. The Glenrock Herders, they are in their travel purple uniforms, pants, I should say, with the purple numerals, black outline, and again, they got the Herders look on top of their helmet. Yep. The I guess you would call it the goat.
How about a ram?
Antlers.
How about a ram?
A ram, yeah, I guess the ram antlers, or you can call it that. Anyway, let's the horns, I should say. Anyway, let's talk about starting lineups. The Herders won the toss. They have elected to receive. They will defend the north end zone. And again, covering the south side will be the Burns Bronx. So let's introduce the starting lineup offensively for the Herders. And again, as we are in the small market football range here, all we got is just class and names. Quarterback will be Braden LaPointe. He is a junior. Your running backs, as they'll run that power I, Dusty Cox, he's a junior. Logan Jones, also a junior. The fullback is Aiden Orozco. He is a senior. Your tight end is Taryn Faber. He is a senior. And your wide receiver is Kyle Heiser. He is also a senior. Along the front line, your two guards are Tristan Fleming, a junior, and Will Pinkerton, a senior. You have a freshman at one tackle position in Case Barrett, and Hayden Heiser, a junior, at another tackle position. Your center is Rylan Orozco, and he is a junior. I'll bet you they have some good spreads over at the Roscoe home there with those two young men playing football for Glenrock. And while we got a chance as they're introducing the Burns Bronx, we got a little bit of time here. Let's give you the Burns offensive unit as well. They are 0-3, 0-1 in conference play. Herders, by the way, 2-1, 0-1 in conference. For the Bronx, it'll be Caden David at the quarterback position. He is a senior. Your running back is Riley McLaughlin. He is a junior. Your wide receiver is Jackson Kirkbride, a senior. Also on the outside will be Joe Morales. He's a senior. Cody Hape and Cooper Lakin, they'll be in that slot position. Along the front line, it will be Cody Winslow along with Brandon Winslow. Cody is a senior, Brandon a junior. It'll be Tager Holmes, a sophomore at a tackle position, along with Ryan Fogg. He's a senior at the other tackle position. And at a guard position will be Connor Malone. He is a senior. So, again, Winslow's on the offensive line, along with Holmes, Manlove, and Fogg. And, again, your specialists are Kirkbride, McLaughlin, David, Lakin, Morales, and Hape.
Take this opportunity, as we mentioned again, we just heard the high school scoreboard, or at least schedule upcoming, as in all of the Cheyenne teams, including Pine, on the road. But taking a look at a few quick scores right now of what we do have. Central and Thunder Basin, they'll get underway at the same time. At least kickoff should be happening right now up there in Gillette, Wyoming. But game also too happening up there in Gillette. Campbell County playing host to Cheyenne South, where at least last tally I had in the first quarter, it was the Camels up 20-0 already against Cheyenne South. So more woes for the Fighting Bison. But across the hill, how about this in the Gym City? Cheyenne East, they're up big, or at least again up by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. That is in the first quarter. And then so far scoreless in the first between Saratoga and Pine Bluffs.
And we will have the South High Fighting Bison Cheyenne Central Indians coming up at Risky Field next Friday evening. So that will be our featured game. So do join us for that. It's nice to be here. Friday Night Lights in Burns, Wyoming. This is the thing to do, the place to be. Again, as we have a good crowd on hand, and again we have our crowd outside, kind of doing that.
At least came in population sign read.
Well, back deep for Glenrock will be Logan Jones. To boot it away, looks like it'll be Joe Morales for the Bronx. Looking at some of the upbacks.
And Burns coming into this game again winless, looking for their first victory in the conference game here between Bronx and Herders.
Cox is standing, Dusty Cox, around his 15-yard line. And also back there on the 15 with him is Taryn Faber. So Morales has it teed up at the 40, and we're ready to play some football action. Thanks for listening and watching. Morales end over end. It'll come down to Faber at the 18 to the 20. He curls up and will drive forward to the 32-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Herders as they open up play, first down and 10.
Kickoff around 7:02 here in Burns, Wyoming. For my calculation, again, about 64 degrees here in Burns, Wyoming, as it got a little chilly once that sun has now set.
Well, we're indoors. I know, I'm in long sleeves. I can't believe it. I actually, you know your dad is getting old when he starts putting long sleeves on.
Went from 90 degrees at that Central game yesterday, or at least last Friday, to, again, 30-degree difference here.
I formation, straight ahead to the fullback. That is Orozco, as Aiden Orozco will push the pile forward. I checked, that was Dusty Cox. So Cox will take it forward to the 36-yard line. That should be a pickup of 3 on the play. So it'll be second down and 7.
Line markers here a little faded in Burns, again with the grass field and the long turf.
Cox is your fullback, and behind him is Logan Jones. Out of the eye once again. This time they'll go to Jones. Off tackle, wrapped up immediately and dropped. 37 maybe if they give him that. That would be about a yard gain, so it'll be third down, long 6.
So Burns on the defensive side looking for a quick 3 and out here.
Well, they'll call it third down and 5 as they gave him close to the 38. We'll give him 2 on the run. Split to the near side is Heiser. Power I formation, and they'll give it off to Jones. Jones close, but a couple of yards short of the first down as he touches the 40-yard line, and it'll be fourth down and 2. So we'll give him 3 on the run, couple of rushes for 5 yards for Logan Jones. Is this a punting situation? I don't know.
And it doesn't look like it, as Herders right now, again, going forward here on fourth down.
Well, Faber is your punter, the tight end. Nope, they're going to come right out of the eye. So it's a fourth down and 2 call. Straight ahead to Cox. Cox, I don't think got it. I think they stopped him. I think maybe a yard for Dusty Cox, and that was it.
So how about that to start up this contest, a turnover on downs, as they're going to take a quick, at least close look at this.
It'll be first down Burns, so the Bronx on the first defensive side holds the Herders, and they get a great field position, right, to open up the offense.
Absolutely. They'll start on the Glenrock. Again, at least it looks like around the 41, 42-yard line.
42-yard line. Caden David, the senior quarterback.
So
again, with a strong arm. I would love to see this team start firing the football right away. McLaughlin, along with Morales. They'll give it off to Morales. He'll go off tackle. Goes outside. 45. Midfield to the 50. Down the sidelines to the 40. 30. Still on his feet. 10-5. Touchdown. How about that 42 yards? Joe Morales. And quickly Burns. One play. One big strike. TD.
So how about that run all the way from the 42-yard line all the way to the end zone, and just like that, Burns with 9:59 remaining already up by 6, pinning the PAT.
Well, I'll tell you what, Morales, you want to talk about a scat back, he got outside and he was gone.
There were some good downfield blocks by Burns as well, too. Fooled Glenrock, just felt at least got that sideline
Burns
all the way for the touchdown.
Does not kick. They'll go for 2. So for the Bronx in the backfield, it'll be McLaughlin along with Morales. Out of the gun, David will operate. Cade sends in motion, and then we got a whistle. Could be a delay of game as Lakin was in motion. A false start, so the first penalty whistled against the Bronx, so that'll make that 2-point conversion a little bit longer.
So first penalty of the game going against Burns on the PAT attempt.
So now the PAT will be from 7.5 yards.
A lot different than what we've seen in previous weeks in high school football, where, again, we've seen flags come out on those scoring plays and negate that points on the board.
So the 2-point conversion. Now McLaughlin will be the only back in the backfield. Out of the gun, David back to pass. Has time. Steps, throws, got him at. It's picked off. You can return the INT only in professional ranks, not in high school. So the PAT is no good. Burns leads 6-0 early here in the first quarter over the Herders. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Be part of the Golden Eagle experience. The Laramie County Community College Golden Eagle Club and the LCCC Flight Crew extends best wishes to all of the area's student athletes this season. Take flight and support all the action and fun of LCCC athletics. You can find complete details at golccc.com. Go Eagles!
Larry Proietti along with Nick Proietti as we are here high atop at Burns. I guess if you want to call it 20 feet high atop. Again, the Bronx striking early after a great defensive stop on the Herders' first possession. One play, 42 yards. Joe Morales, PAT, was no good. They also got penalized on the 2-point conversion. So, and David got actually picked off on the 2-point conversion.
So either way, though, again, Burns is still leading this ball game 6-0, 9:59 remaining here in the first quarter.
Morales to boot it away. This will come down, and it's bobbled and then picked up 15-20. And still fighting, breaks a tackle, 30, 40, pass just to the midfield stripe. That was a great run there, and give the kid his due on that. That was Logan Jones. Logan Jones was caught up around the 32-yard line and then all of a sudden bust through to the midfield stripe.
Yeah, just bad tackling, bad wrapping up there by Burns on that play.
Absolutely, that was not good. And again, your defensive tackle specialist is going to have a few words with that kickoff team.
So Glenrock, as we talk about Burns on that turnover and downs, having great field position. How about this for Glenrock starting at the 50-yard line?
First down at 10. Braden LaPointe, the junior quarterback, will direct the troops. They'll run out of the I with Dusty Cox and Logan Jones. Going right to left across your radio as well as your live stream dial. Jones puts his head down, tries to go off tackle, kind of feeling his way through on the dive play, and only will pick up maybe a yard, if that. So Jones gets 1, and it's 2nd down and 9.
And here's a beauty play again, as we talk about in the pregame show, knowing what this Glenrock team's going to do. Again, Burns reading run the entire way on the defense. They've been able to stop it pretty well.
2nd down and 9. Taco John scoreboard at 9:17, and a 6-0 lead for the Bronx. Again, operating out of the I. Heiser split to the near side. Straight ahead to Dusty Cox. Nowhere to go. Driven back by Cody Winslow. So Winslow will limit the damage for about a yard to Dusty Cox, who has 3 rushes now for 5 yards. Did that make a difference with me doing that?
A little bit.
I had to take off my giant shirt for Nick so we don't interrupt on the live stream.
Well, we're going to have that ever lovely glare as we do.
3rd down and 8. And they'll keep it on the ground. Jones gets bottled up, and down he goes. A host of tacklers. I see Riley McLaughlin picking himself up. It looks like if they spot it, it might be at the 49-yard line. That'll be a loss of 1. It'll be 4th down and 9.
You got to anticipate here that Glenrock not going to be aggressive on this one. Probably going to punt this away. And 4th down at about a long 9, if not 10, as it looks like kicker will line up in the backfield.
So it looks like Hape is back deep. Faber is your punter. Snap is high. Good job. He bobbles it, and then he loses the football and down on the ground, and the Burns Bronx will fall on it. That's Winslow who falls on it, Cody Winslow. And again, another short field for the Bronx on a bad snap that Faber could not pull down.
Right now, everything good that can happen to Burns is happening here so far in this early part of this contest.
Well, right now,
they've gotten a lot of lucky breaks.
On the ground, the Herders are going absolutely nowhere against the Bronx.
And that tells you it's going to be possibly a long night for Glenrock, as they're struggling out of the gates, at least on the offense.
Hape and Lakin to the near side. 1st down and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. They'll give it off to Morales. Morales will go to the left side outside. Tries to turn the corner and spun around and dropped. Maybe a gain of a yard.
That'll stop the clock at 7:39 here remaining in the first quarter. Want to remind folks, again, 4 at least 12-minute quarters here in high school football.
They're going to say, well, across the way they give them a yard, so we'll give them a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 with the ball right now resting at the Herders' 37-yard line. Hash mark to the far side.
Burns already up 6-0, looking to add to this lead early on here.
McLaughlin along with Morales in the backfield. David out of the gun. And we'll come back on counteraction to McLaughlin. He may have the 1st down. He dives forward to the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 10, and that'll be enough to move the chains. Nice job there by Riley as he waited patiently for that counteraction to develop, and he found a big hole and dove for the 1st down.
Ball's going to be spotted on the Glenrock. It looks like that's going to be about 27, 28-yard line.
I was just looking at the camera here. We got kind of a half picture.
Yeah, again, you got to deal with the white walls and, again, with the sunlight, or at least the ambient light in this box. What are you going to do?
1st down and 10 for the Bronx. David this time will go to Morales. He'll try to get outside. He's hit and dropped for no gain. Coming up to make that stop was Adam Jackson, the sophomore. Or Adam Johnson, I should say. So it'll be no gain. 2nd down and 10. Or actually, they're going to say he had enough for the 1st down. So I thought actually that McLaughlin had the 1st down. So they only gave him 9, which I think was a bad call.
Either way, though, Burns will start with a fresh set of downs.
As busy as they're looking at the camera. I'll pay more attention to the game. 1st down and 10 for Burns. Back to pass goes David. He steps, he throws, got a man. Across the way, that is, I do believe that was Hape that made the catch. check that, Kirkbride.
Kirkbride will make the catch on that one.
So Kirkbride will.
About a gain of 5.
4 yards on the pass play to Kirkbride.
So second down at 6 here for the Bronx. Again, just outside of that red zone.
Hash mark to the far side for the Bronx. Now I can understand why the camera's like that. I've got that same glare as well, too. Out of the gun, back to pass. Goes David. Has time. Rolls to his right. Plenty of time. Rolling. Steps up, looking long for the end zone. Touchdown! The catch made by Lakin. There is a flag. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
It looks like face mask possibly against Glenrock.
It'll be against the Herders, so it will be a touchdown for the Burns Bronx from 23 yards out.
So how about that? Again, a beautiful throw in the end zone in the corner end. Hits his man, and just like that, Burns now up 12-0. 5:50 remaining here in the first quarter. Been now a PAT attempt, or at least a 2-point conversion here.
As they will line up.
And obviously, again, the penalty will be declined by head coach Brad Morrison and company.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You never know.
Well, I don't think they're going to take off 6 for 3, that's for sure. So the 2-point attempt, as Morales will line up to the left side of David. Out of the gun, fakes the handoff, goes to the end zone, and dropped. Might have been behind by to Hape. It was a little behind him, but the 2-point conversion is no good. So for the Burns Bronx, 2 drives, 2 scores, 5:50 to go here in the quarter. Bronx 12, Herders nothing. We're back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
For nearly 30 years, family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community with quality and customer satisfaction. It's a pretty simple drill. When you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body for an appointment at 307-634-6608. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Welcome back to Capital Roofing Field, Burns High School, as the Bronx jump out to a quick 12-0 lead.
And 5:50 remaining here in the first quarter as Burns. It has been all Burns here in this contest without a doubt. And the Bronx taking care of business again. A big couple of defensive stops, big offensive plays right now. Again, this is a team that last time we were here, again, a marked difference.
So Morales will boot it away. Back deep again is Logan Jones along with Faber and Dusty Cox. Again, Faber and Cox right around the 15-yard line. Jones at the 10. Had a really good return last time for the Herders. Unfortunately, the drive just stalled. Morales will step into it and keep it low this time, and it will bounce to the ground, picked up by Jones around the 20-yard line. 25, dancing his way through, breaks free again to the 40-yard line. And the kickoff team is going to have a little talking to by the coaches. So Jones, who picks his way forward for 20 yards on that return, and it'll be first down and 10.
Back-to-back weeks, we've seen teams, at least the local squads, have difficulty on special teams, kind of wrapping up those at least would-be runners.
Yeah, Central had a lot of problems last week. First down and 10. But again, that Costas kid from Sheridan just was a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah.
Very tight formation. And again, Jones escapes the one tackler and then is brought down, looks like, at the 41-yard line.
Keep the clock running, though, however, on the run play.
That'll be a very short gain of 2 for Logan Jones. That's the only bad thing, Nick. When we turn the lights off, it makes it harder for me to see now. I guess if we can lift that up a little bit more, that might work.
You're talking the window shade here?
Yeah, if we can push that up just a little bit more.
We'll have to do that. A commercial break.
Second down and 8. Jones and Cox out of the eye. And they'll go straight ahead to Cox. Cox trying to push the pile forward. No go. I'll tell you, the interior right now for the Bronx, being spearheaded by Winslow. Also making the stop there was Ryan Fogg. And it's third down, and we're going to say 6.
Again, Glenrock.
Actually, I'll call it 7. It's a long 7.
And Glenrock just having no answers right now, again, with their pure run game here. Burns, again, the playbook is pretty much just defend against it, and they've done that perfectly here so far.
No, we haven't seen LaPointe put it up in the air yet. He may have to throw the football.
Yeah, it kind of gets to that point of desperation. When is that going to happen?
Third down, they'll operate again out of the eye. Pitch it back this time to Jones. Jones gets outside, cuts it back against the grain. No. He may lose a yard, Nick. If anything, he got back to the 43.
It looks like they might spot it right at the line of scrimmage. So, again, no gain on that play. So, fourth down and long for Glenrock. Will they be aggressive here, or will they put it away? It looks like they might go be aggressive here.
Well, I'll tell you what, they have just not amassed anything on the ground.
Here's
in 3 possessions.
And again, a fourth down at least 7 or at least about 6. It does kind of bring up, it looks like they will punt it, though. And if they were attempted, though, it put them in kind of that throwing situation.
And we're going to have a flag. I do believe this might be.
Should be delay game.
No, too many men on the field.
So back up Glenrock.
So for the Herders, they will be ticketed for their first penalty. That'll back them up 5. And that will bring Hape up to around the 30-yard line. So realistically, if all goes according to Hoyle, you would think Hape is going to come away with some good field position along with the Bronx. Faber boots it away. It goes off the side of his foot, and the Bronx are going to get great field position once again. It takes a Herders bounce. I thought it was going to bounce back, but it bounces forward. However, for Burns, they're going to operate around their own 42-yard, let's say 45. Again, these officials kind of move a little slow for me. I'm watching where the ball landed.
Kind of just going all over the place.
They're going to say the 48-yard line. And what it did, it actually hit a Herder, and then it bounced forward. So, again, ball resting at the Bronx 48-yard line. First down and 10. Great field position. 3 possessions, and, again, they have not had a long field yet.
And this might be an indication of how this game's going right now, where, again, Burns looking to at least add and make a very comfortable lead before the half.
3:20 on the Taco John scoreboard. Trips to the near side. And rolling to his right is David. Gets away from one would-be tackler. There's a flag down. Probably come back for holding. He'll hook up with Lakin. Lakin pushed out of bounds at the 39. But before we get any further, we may have to call this one back. So the flag.
See if the indication will be holding against Burns.
Ball right now is resting at the 40-yard line. It would be a 12-yard pass play if it's not against the Bronx, but it will be holding. And that will back up the Bronx 10 yards. Their second infraction here in the quarter. 2 for 15 yards. And the Taco John scoreboard has 3:10 to go.
So, again, 2 penalties against the Burns Bronx. One on the PAT attempt. Now this one on this third offensive drive for the Bronx.
So they'll operate first down and 20 with the ball right now just shy of the 38-yard line. David again operates out of the gun. McLaughlin to his left. Back to pass goes David. Sets up for the screen. Inside screen. McLaughlin shakes off one tackler. Almost gets back the penalty yardage, and he's driven out at the 46-yard line. So give him, let's see officially where they'll spot it now. It looks like, the 46, so give him about 8 on that pass reception. So it'll be second down and 12.
As McLaughlin pushed out of bounds, will stop the clock at 3:02 here remaining in the first quarter. Again, Burns trying to get back into, again, a few yards away from getting back into Glenrock territory.
Second down, 12. Again, David out of the gun. Hands it off to Morales. Morales feels his way through over near the midfield stripe. And let's see if they give him the 50. If they do, that will be a pickup of 4 on the play, so it'll be third down and 8.
Nose just touching the 50 here.
So for Morales, 4 more yards rushing. So I get to all feel through all my charts here in the dark.
We'll find you a lamp here a second.
The one lamp I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It is third down and a little less than 8 yards. Ball resting at the midfield stripe, David. Now we'll call his own number to the 45, 40, 35, and we'll dive forward to the 33-yard line. That'll be a scamper of 17 yards for Cade David.
So how about that? Burns again now back into Glenrock territory with that one.
So 17-yard gainer for Cade David. And check it, they'll say 18 yards on that run for Cade David. And it will be first down and 10.
And that means at least Burns crossed the 50 on that one.
Yeah, on that play, the Bronx crossed the midfield, and AARP Wyoming wants to remind you good things happen after 50. To see what's going on for folks over 50 in Wyoming, check out AARP Wyoming's Facebook page.
It looks like we will have a timeout called by the Herders.
So the Herders will call a timeout. We will call one as well as the Bronx lead 12-0. We're back after this 30-second timeout. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
For nearly 30 years, family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass.
Enjoy your summertime fun, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, picnics, and other get-togethers, by making sure you always have Mary's Mountain Cookies on hand for everyone to enjoy. Mary's Mountain Cookies has gourmet and specialty cookies, including their delicious ice cream cookies. They also have party trays for those special celebrations. So stop into the only dessert shop in historic downtown Cheyenne and get your sweet treats today at Mary's Mountain Cookies, 315 East Linkaway, or call and place your order at 307-514-0404.
Where we do have a few score updates from Class 4A and also to 1A 9-man, again, the local squads. Again, as we don't have a score update between Central and Thunder Basin, but how about this? East and Laramie. In Laramie, the Thunderbirds up big, 42-0. That is in the second quarter. Also, too, in the second quarter, up in Gillette, Wyoming, the Camels of Campbell County, they are leading 40-0 over Cheyenne South. 7-0 right now, advantage Pine Bluffs over Saratoga. That is also, too, in the second quarter.
Well, the Fighting Bison last week, I think, staved off a running clock situation because the Bolts, pulled back the horses. But here we go. They are pretty doggone close to having yet another running clock situation.
Well, how about that? Two teams, though, again, 2 games in Class 4A already approaching that running clock situation. East over Laramie and Campbell County over Cheyenne South.
In motion is Morales, and they will hand it off to Morales, trying to get outside. He does so, still on his feet down the sideline and drilled out. Cross the way. Let's see what they give him. Again, the ball was on the 31-yard line, and we'll see officially where they mark him. Again, the field, the striping is not the greatest here. It looks like the 24, so give him 7 yards on the rush.
Sets up about a 2nd down and 4 for Burns.
Unofficially for Morales, I have him with about 55 yards here in the first period. Not too bad, including that 42-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's been the impressive mark.
Hash mark to the far side.
First offensive play for Burns. Again, Morales with that 42-yard run.
Abe to the near side. Kirkbride out on top. And they'll come back with a counter this time. And dropped after close to a first down gain. Let's see who it is. It was Ryan McLaughlin who carried the football. And let's see where the spot is. They will give him just a yard, 2 yards.
So very close, so about 3rd and a long
it's
one.
It's 3rd and a long one, absolutely. So we'll give McLaughlin 2. Well, yeah, we'll give him 1, actually. So it will be 3rd down, about a yard and a half.
Kind of wonder if
4 down territory as well.
Kind of wonder if this is a QB keeper situation here for Burns.
Kirkbride along with Lakin out on the far side. Now in motion comes Lakin. They'll fake, I think might be a busted play as David had to take it himself. He is close, but they will say he lost about a half yard.
So it looks like knee got down, at least so behind the line of scrimmage.
So the ball right now resting at the 23. Yeah, on that particular sequence, you can see Lakin was in motion. And it looked like the play was going to him, but it just was slow in developing. Lakin just bypassed the football.
4 down territory here for Burns going forward here.
As they'll have Hape indicated, it is a first down. So he did have enough as he brings it to the 20, inside the 20, so about a 4-yard gain for Riley. Let's just hope it was just the wind being knocked out of him as he's down. Coach will pick him up, and again, it's not as serious, and that's a good thing. That might have been one where he took one right in the gut.
Kind of a stinger on that one. Yeah, absolutely. Need to catch his breath.
And he'll come back off the field under his own power, so he'll skip a play.
So that's good to see there. And more, at least, again, with that player being at least walking off his own power. Burns, as we mentioned, again, picking up the first down there in red zone territory here.
Right at the 20-yard line. So with a time winding down, about 15 seconds, I think Kate David is just noticing that on the clock, and I think he's going to allow the clock to skip on down to some zeros. After one period of play, it's the Broncs leading the Herders 12-0. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE. We're back after this 60-second timeout.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is now offering a simple way to make your money work for you. Meridian Trust will pay you 4% interest on checking account balances up to $15,000. Get all the details at mymeridiantrust.com or stop by our 3 convenient locations in Cheyenne, 2223 Warren Avenue, 4349 East Lincoln Way, and our newest branch at 1602 Prairie Avenue. This is the perfect time to become a Meridian Trust member. Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, where your deposits are safely insured by the NCUA. Be sure to stop in today.
Roofing Field as the Broncs with 2 touchdowns in quarter number 1 looking for yet another score on the board as they'll put the Herders further behind the 8 ball. Herders had 3 possessions and absolutely went nowhere. They did get a good kickoff return from Logan Jones, but after that, nothing. So for the Broncs.
As I say, Broncs right now, again, at least in that first quarter, played near perfect football, I think, without a doubt. Again, outside, again, the one blemish at least penalty. But again, we've seen in the first quarter, again, about 10 penalties called in the Class 4A ranks of the past couple weeks. So this Burns team, though, really picked it up here against this Glenrock team. Again, dare I say, they played near perfect ball there in that entire quarter.
First down and 10 for the Broncs. We have a young man on the field right now without a name on the roster. So for the Broncs, David moves Lakin in motion. Back to pass. He wants it all. Fires long. Incomplete as he overshot his receiver.
And that is the difference this season compared to where we saw this team last season against Tongue River, where, again, it was very heavy run offense. Again, QB was a big issue for head coach Brad Morrison. He's got a stable QB that is willing to throw it out and can hit those marks. Again, seeing them be aggressive here today.
David was trying to hook up with Hape and led him by about 5 yards deep into the end zone. Hape will split out to the far side. Kirkbride to the near side along with Lakin. Snap is back out of the gun. Pump fake. David going for the end zone and tried to hook up with Lake. Broken up. I do believe that was Heiser that broke up the pass play. And it will be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 10 at the 20.
Anticipating that Burns, again, we'll probably air it out one more time here, looking towards the end zone.
Well, you know, and they did that nice little screen to McLaughlin. So that would be a perfect time right now for a screen.
Or do you kind of switch things up here, at least catch Glenrock on their heels and go with Morales?
You got Morales who's lined up to the right side. 3rd down and 10. Once again, Hape out of the gun, claps his hands, high snap. Blitz is on, gets away from one would-be tackler, now on the run. Trying to cut it back inside. He does so. He'll have the first down yardage. And he's inside or near the 5. Nice run by Cade David.
Enough for the first down there. And now for Burns, 1st and goal.
Let's see what they gave him. It looks like across the way, Nick. That is the 5. So 1st and goal actually looks closer to the 4.
So only 4 yards away from pay dirt to add to the already 12-point lead here for Burns.
So, again, it's hard to see where we're at here.
We are the far right-end booth.
Well, no, the markings are not all that great. McLaughlin's back in. That's good to see. It's first down and goal. Right around the 5-yard line. High snap this time. They'll go to Morales. Morales wrapped up and will stumble on in. Touchdown. Heiser had a shot at him, and then he just kind of slipped away. So Morales with a 5-yard TD. And the Bronx again back on the board with more.
18-point advantage now for the Burns Bronx, leading 18-0. 11:01 remaining here in the second quarter. As this has been all Burns football here tonight. Again, what is senior night as well, too, for these players. Burns, again, will be set up for that 2-point conversion.
And we're just underway here on the Taco John's scoreboard here in the second quarter. 11:01 to go until halftime.
Again, it's kind of replicated what we're seeing in Class 4A. Again, East, Campbell County against Cheyenne South. Again, a lot of blowouts, a lot of teams putting up goose eggs here.
So for the Bronx, as they'll attempt the 2-point conversion again, David fires and on a quick slant tried to hook up with his receiver, and that is no good. So the Bronx lead 18-0 with 11:01 to go on the Taco John scoreboard. We're back after this 30-second timeout. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
If you own a home or property, you have at some time experienced a systems failure, always at the worst possible time. If that happens to you, just call Merritt Plumbing and Heating at 638-0749. Randy Merritt has over 35 years experience of plumbing and heating service. Merritt Plumbing and Heating and their entire crew have one mission: to provide homeowners and businesses throughout southeast Wyoming with reliable, affordable, and honest services. For plumbing and heating, commit this name to memory: Merritt Plumbing and Heating. Online at merrittplumbingandheating.com.
Nick Proietti, as we are watching the Burns Bronx right now. Well, they're doing a little punishing on the visiting Glenrock Herders.
Again, I think even in your pregame conversation with head coach Downing or Glenrock saying, hey, a lot of these losses for outside, again, the COVID forfeit against Mitchell, again, for Burns, it's been very competitive for this Bronx team. They've been within these contests, and right now, again, we're seeing that talent unfold here at home against Glenrock. Again, they have played, again, right now, I could easily say near perfect football.
Well, and again, not making excuses for the Bronx. They only had 2 full days of practice to get ready for the Eagles last week before they went on that then you get a long road trip to Tongue River.
So I think, again, as you're saying, for the Bronx, they get a little behind the 8 ball on that one.
Morales has it teed up at the 40-yard line. And this one will be a short pooch kick. Heiser is there. He falls on it. And looks like he will fall right around the 35-yard line. Interesting kick there that time by Morales.
So fairly decent, at least, field position for the Glenrock Herders.
Well, the Herders really haven't had bad field position if you think about it this evening.
They've just not been able to advance that football again. They've been all run, and Burns has been sniffing it out on the defensive side.
Well, when we figured out who number 1 is, it's Jared Allen. For some reason, he was not on our roster. Don't know why.
You'll need to talk to head coach Brad Morrison after.
Yeah, give him a piece of our mind. Straight ahead run. Is there a fumble?
An indication was that ball was out.
Winslow says he has it. The official says no. It's
Glenrock football.
Glenrock football. I think Jones was on the run.
They gave him a pretty friendly spot on that.
5-yard run for Jones.
So second down and 5 now for Glenrock. I feel like that's easily to say their longest run of the evening.
Ball right now resting at the 40-yard line. Second down and 5. Very tight power I formation. And again, they come back to Jones. Jones, near first down yardage, picks up 3. It'll be third down and 2.
Glenrock at this point in time has not picked up a first down on offense. They're 3 yards away from picking up their first.
Actually, we'll give them 4. They're getting some friendly spots here.
Yeah, very friendly spots on that one. So third down and 2 now.
And that's a good thing. I mean, if you're a Herder fan, because it looked like he was down at the 43. 3rd down and 1, and they'll go to Dusty Cox, who is bunched up and then breaks a couple of tackles. And he will be near the midfield stripe. Looks like to the 49-yard line. So where they had him bunched up at the line of scrimmage, he breaks off tackle and picks up about 5 yards.
So for the Herders, that is their first down of the evening, coming with 9:28 remaining here in the second quarter.
So 1st down and 10 near the midfield stripe. And they'll go to Jones. Again, they have kept everything on the ground. Jones gets wrapped up, slips away from one tackler. That was Winslow. And he will lunge forward for 5 to the Bronx 46-yard line.
Because now you're seeing this Bronx defense a little winded out there, trying to contain the run, having difficulty wrapping up.
And right now, the Taco John scoreboard shows 8:55 to go until halftime. Bronx lead 18-0 in search of their first conference win, no less as well. Bad snap, and that was up in the air. Cox comes away with it.
Looks like another ball loose.
I think the Bronx may have it. The Bronx do have it. Cox never had it as it was flying in the air back for the quarterback, the point, and Cox never got the handle of it. The Bronx will recover and will take over at their own 45-yard line. Again, a drive that showed a little promise for the Herders turns into disaster. So a turnover.
Getting a little happy accident there. Again, goes away for Burns. So how about that? Get another turnover against Glenrock.
1st down and 10 for the Bronx.
Sizing up things right now for the Burns Bronx. All 3 timeouts of at least remaining for them. 2 for Glenrock.
In motion comes Lakin. They'll come back with counteraction to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will scoot his way over the right side to the 47-yard line. We'll give him a pickup of 2. And it'll be 2nd down and 8.
And you wonder at this point in time, again, Burns, will they try to just kind of go heavy run, at least plays a wind down time?
I don't think so. I think you want to put this, and again, too, Bronx will get the football to open up the second half. I think you want to get some more nails for that coffin. David out of the gun, and they'll go to Lakin on the fly sweep. Lakin trying to get outside. He's stretched outside to the midfield stripe, and that's all he's going to get is a couple of yards. So for Lakin, it will be his first rush, and it will be 3rd down. We'll call it 5. Ball right now at the midfield stripe. Jared Allen will check in for the Bronx. He will come in for Morales. So, again, adding some more hands, which tells me they're going to probably put it up in the air.
Absolutely.
If they can.
Taking a look at a couple scores, which we'll get to eventually as well, too. A few games already into that running clock situation.
Kirkbride to the near side. David calls his own number straight ahead. Gets, it looked like he was going to stumble forward for the first down. He'll be shy by a yard, 4 yards for Cade. And he called his own number. That one was right out of the box. He was going to take it. So it'll be 4th down. We'll call it about a yard and a half.
Kind of tripped up on the grass out there as well, too, preventing them from getting that first down marker. So 4th and about 2 here for the Burns Bronx. Again, this team will absolutely go for it here.
3 rushes for Cade, and he has right now 37 yards on the ground.
Again, Burns does have 3 timeouts here. As it looks like, again, play clock running down very quickly here for the Bronx.
Bronx quickly up to the line. Kirkbride to the near side on a 4th down call. David claps his hands twice, gives it off to Allen. Allen will not get it. He'll lose a couple of yards. And the Bronx, not a good play call there by the Bronx. And it will be turnover on downs. 2-yard loss for Allen.
That is the first kind of imperfection for this offense here tonight.
It looked like it looked like the play was, like they just drew it up on the sideline and said, "Here, run this thing." That did not look like a designed play.
I do believe, again, if I stand correct again for Burns, that is the first time on their offense, again, did not come away with points as well.
That's right,
so,
their fourth possession of the game. Can't score all the time, I guess.
Unless you were the Thunderbirds of last year.
Pitch it back to Jones. Jones crawl. And again, the Bronx trying to strip the football away, but Jones was down at the 48-yard line, so a gain of 0.
Gotta love that aggressive nature by the Bronx there again, trying to rip out that football.
Yeah, you could see that right there in front of us. They're trying to strip that football away from Jones.
And speaking of Cheyenne East as well, too, same with Campbell County again. You wonder if those offenses, once we get those scores, they've kind of
woke up.
Well, more so again, have they scored on every offensive possession? You kind of wonder again.
Well, you have if you're into a running clock situation. We've seen that before. We saw East run off 8 straight scores against South before they called off the Dogs. Second down and 10, and they'll hand it off again to Joe. Still have not put the ball in the air are the Herders. He may get the 50, and that will be a yard. It'll be third down and long. And Jones, by my tabulation here, Nick, I have him down for 11 rushes, but not much on the ground.
Again, we knew that it was going to be heavy run offense here for Glenrock, and they're showing it here so far.
So third down and 9, ball at the midfield stripe. Taco John scoreboard right now reads at 5:30 to go here in the first half. 18-0 Bronx here at Capital Roofing Field in Burns.
Got another interesting score as well, too. Again, I can't wait till we get the scoreboard again. It has been complete blowouts across the state of Wyoming.
Third down and long, and they'll come back to Jones. Jones tries to feel his way. He gets outside. He will have the first down. Nice job that time by Logan Jones. It looked like he was going to be bunched up, and then he found a little seam to the outside and will take it to the 40-yard line. That will be a first down on a run of about 10.
This Bronx defense kind of buckling right now. That is a second, at least first down for Glenrock here in this entire game, second in this quarter. As we approach 5 minutes to go here before half, Glenrock does have 2 timeouts remaining.
First down and 10. A long huddle by the Herders. Coach Downing had LaPointe over with him.
It's pretty much of who's getting the ball, where you're running, look at what gap.
They better keep an eye on the clock here and get up there real quick.
They're approaching that timer right now.
Power eye, and they will come back again to Jones. Jones goes off. Tackle, breaks free to the 20, 15, tripped up. I mean, that was a shoestring tackle near the end zone, and I do believe, if I get the number there, that was Diedrich Nicholas who saved the touchdown. However, the run takes Jones all the way down.
They're spotting that around
about the 6-yard line.
Yeah, so
that would be a 34-yard run for Jones.
So the first time this evening, Glenrock in red zone territory here.
Diedrich Nichols saving the touchdown.
Trying to get back into this contest.
Come out of that power eye once again. You know Jones is going to get the ball. And again, so the flag came down, and that was a good thing because LaPointe lost the football. Offside against the Bronx. That will move it 3 yards closer to the end zone. So it will be first down and goal from the 3.
Coach Morrison not too happy with that call, trying to get an explanation on that one.
The Bronx have been whistled 3 times now for 18 yards.
Clock will continue to run here after the penalty as we now approach 4 minutes remaining before half. Glenrock trying to put points on the board.
Well, the Herders just keep pounding it, and finally that 3 yards in a cloud of dust came through for Logan Jones.
It's kind of weakening this defense for Burns.
You got those big bodies just coming at you straight ahead. Out of the eye, and another whistle. What do we have this time?
Timeout, I do believe.
Timeout called by the Herders. And with 3:42 left to go here in the first half, Burns 18 and the Herders knocking on the door. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Proud supporters of Cheyenne and community athletes Paige and Zach Lane with Number One Properties would like to wish all the high school and college athletes a successful year on the field and on the court. They have and will continue to support student athletes and are proud to be members of the Cheyenne community. Contact Paige and Zach if you want to sell or buy a home. A special thank you for referrals as well. From your friends at Number One Properties, Paige and Zach Lane. Call 307-214-0827.
$18-0 with the Herders on the 3-yard line. First down and goal. Timeout called by the Herders. What do you got, Nick?
Score-wise, how about this? A couple games at half. How about Pine Bluffs? The Hornets leading Saratoga 42-0 in that contest. Also 2 at half. Campbell County up big, 53-0 over Cheyenne South. 49-0. How about Cheyenne East over Laramie in the third quarter? And 7-0 lead for Cheyenne Central early in the first quarter.
Against the Bolts?
On the road in Gillette.
First down and goal from the 3. Jones gets behind his lead blocker. Unfortunately, he will be dropped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
But how about that, though, again, for our 3, at least for the 2 local teams, and again, behind, again, our county squad, 3 games in that running clock situation here in the state of Wyoming.
Aiden Orozco was trying to lead the way, but Jones got tripped up. So it is second down and goal. Ball at the 3.
Glenrock down to only 1 timeout remaining as we approach 3 minutes to go here before half.
This time they'll go to Cox straight ahead. He pushes the pile forward. An indication, touchdown for the Herders. So Dusty Cox with a 3-yard plunge. And for the Herders, they finally get on the board here in quarter number 2.
And you would assume the same situation here as now Burns has the 12-point advantage up 18-6 with 3:01 remaining before half. That Glenrock will attempt a 2-point conversion here too.
Nice drive, though. You give the Herders their due. They had a nice drive, big run by Logan Jones, and Dusty Cox finishes it off. Now for the 2-point conversion to bring them within 10. Again, it will be Cox at the fullback position. Jones behind him. They'll go to Jones. Jones puts his head down, slithers his way. Is he in? He's in. 2-point conversion is good. 3:01 to go. It's 18-8 in favor of the Burns Broncs over the Glenrock Herders. And we'll be back after this 30-second timeout you're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Everyone likes having choices, but sometimes having too many choices can make it hard to choose. Our new online account chooser at Platte Valley Bank takes the guesswork out of picking the account that fits you and your lifestyle. Just go to www.pvbank.com, answer 5 questions, and in less than 5 minutes, you'll know which checking account is right for you. Always on the go? We've got an account for that. Do you have direct deposit? We've got an account for that. Do you like to earn interest? We've got an account for that too. Wherever life takes you, your Platte Valley Bank account is right there with you.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Proietti along with Nick Proietti from Burns High School, Capital Roofing Field. Bronx, well, you know, I don't want to say it reminds me of week 0 where East just came out blitzing the Bolts, and all of a sudden the Bolts came back. But that was an impressive drive that time by the Herders.
Yeah, absolutely. Where, again, we talked about Glenrock in this, at least early part of this contest. Again, it looked like they were just going to have all sorts of difficulties on the offensive side. They found a way to bust a few holes, again, go against this Bronx defense that looks a little winded right now, and it was able to cash in. And how about this? Now Glenrock again only trailing by 10 points. But Burns does have the 18-8 lead with 3:01 remaining until half.
Hape is back deep, and up will be Lakin along with McLaughlin.
At least our game is a little bit more competitive than the other, at least, schools that we cheer on for.
To do the kicking, it will be Philip Zidek. He is a senior. So he has it teed up at the 40. Again, you have to be on the look-see for a possible onside. Again, momentum might change a little bit.
We saw that with Central. We saw that with Cheyenne East.
And Zidek, he will kick a line shot that bounces off McLaughlin. He'll pick it up at the 25. Still on his feet to the 30, 35-yard line for Riley McLaughlin. That one was a line drive shot. That would be like a shot off a shoulder of a shortstop. That thing was hit like a cannon. But McLaughlin had the presence of mind to pick it up and just drive forward with it.
Thankfully, again, recovered off of that one. Kept his awareness at least going on that one. So good field position once again for Burns.
And the Bronx have had good field position all throughout this contest. As we look at a first down and 10, David back to pass. Under a heavy rush, loses the football, and I think it's going to be recovered maybe by an interior lineman. Or is that McLaughlin that got it?
At first it looked like Glenrock fell on it, and then afterwards it kind of got out, and yes, it looks like it will stay Burns football.
It squirted away from Dusty Cox, and McLaughlin will fall on it after a 5-yard loss. So it will be second down and 15.
As Burns will continue to back up here again. Offense having their struggles too.
All of a sudden now the Burns Bronx doing their best impression of the Glenrock Herders of the first quarter.
Burns, who we thought was pretty much immortal on this field, again showing a little mortal.
Second down and 15. They'll come back with Morales to the right side, breaks a couple of tackles. They'll get back the lost yardage and stumble forward to the 37, a pickup of 7 on the play, and it will be third down and long. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock.
Burns does have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Taco John scoreboard with $1:45 to go here in the first half. Again, the Bronx will get the football to open up the second half.
But I think Bronx anticipate them to be a little bit aggressive here. Try to build some confidence heading into half.
Kirkbride to the near side. Out on top is Hape along with Lakin. David calls his own number, bumps into a couple of would-be tacklers, tries to stretch forward for an extra yard, and for K. David, only 1 on the gain. It'll be fourth down. We might see the
fourth down and 7 for Burns, as it looks like we have a timeout.
Timeout called by the Herders with $1:17 to go. And our score right now, checking in, 18-8 in favor of the Burns Bronx. You are listening to 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You are listening to high school football and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
The new Valuist menu from Taco John's doesn't mess around on value. Seriously, everything's only $1, $2, or $3 with next-level delicious deals. Like our new $1 beef and potato taco topped with potato olays and nacho cheese. It's the crunchiest and cheesiest taco on the Valuist menu. Or our new $2 cold brew coffee in vanilla or mocha. They're the smoothest, flavoriest options on the Valuist menu. Taco John's, bigger, bolder, better. Download our app for exclusive deals.
I'm Coach Morrison, and I'm not, but if I had that magical wand right now, I'd boot it away.
Yeah, I think that's a smart thing to do, the safe thing, and that looks like that's what's going to be.
K. David will he'll boot it away. Logan Jones is your man deep. He's standing around his own 30-yard line. Snap is a bad snap, and David will have to fall on it.
Flag was thrown across the way as well, too.
So there's a flag, so hold the phone. David will fall on it at the 24-yard line. That will be a loss, a big loss. So let's see what the flag is about. It might be against the Herders.
And so far, no indication so far as Burns right now, again, lining up at least.
And it'll be a procedure. No, legal procedure. They called it against the Herders. So it will be declined. And for the Burns Bronx, the ball back now to the 22-yard line. That is a loss of 15 yards. And that will go against K. David. That was a very bad snap.
Once again, we will have a timeout.
The snap was like a wounded duck, Nick, and it floated, and then it dropped straight down to the ground. David didn't have a chance to pick it up. We'll keep it here.
Yeah, timeout call by Burns. Again, they're at least first one of the 3. And now, without a doubt, again, it was just right now for Burns where we talk about, again, we gave so much praise for this team. They are starting to collapse in on themselves and allow Glenrock back into it. Again, we talk about it with East, with South, with Central. Again, now we're seeing it on the 2A ranks here with Burns where, again, they are their own worst enemy. And right now, again, kind of wonder, it's again, when there's smoke, there's fire. And right now,
when it rains, it pours. We can use all the cliches.
Yeah, it's starting to, again, kind of at least elevate here a bit for the Burns Bronx.
And again, this has all the markings of what you guys had, you and Grant had week 0 with East and Thunder Basin. East off to a 28-0 lead, and then they just fell apart.
Yeah.
It's not Thunder Basin scored. East just couldn't do anything. All of a sudden now the Burns Bronx, they're on a milk carton. And the Glenrock Herders right now are they could go into the locker room with a lot of momentum.
And they're looking to add, again, if they're able to score once again, just be a few points within it, again, pending that 2-point conversion. Again, albeit before, at least as we head into halftime, Glenrock might be down by just 2 points.
And right now, the Bronx defense back on the field. They've spent a lot of time on the field. A lot of these guys going both ways.
Yeah.
So not many of them getting breaks. Ball's right now at the 22-yard line. Hash mark to the far side with Cox and Jones in the backfield. Run, run, run. That's all it's been. Now it'll be Jones firing over the middle. Wide open. Touchdown to Orozco.
What a trick play on that one there. Fooled a lot of players on that football field. Again, the first pass play by Glenrock.
And that will be from Logan Jones on the halfback option as he will throw the TD to Orozco for the score.
And just like that, Glenrock is back into this contest, trailing by 4 points here, pinning the 2-point conversion. Wow, what a second quarter here for the Herders.
Oh, they got themselves back into it that quick. And Jones fired a strike. 2-point attempt. They'll give it off to Jones. Jones this time will fall short. So Burns muscles up and stops Jones on the 2-point conversion. 18-14 our score with 1:06 to go here. They shouldn't start the clock.
They allowed a few times.
Okay, so we're saying somewhere 60-plus seconds left to go here in the first half. We'll keep it here since teams are just getting ready to kick it off. But that was a good play. That was a good play called by Coach Downey.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, the first play, again, a little trick play kept Burns, again, where we're talking with the defense, hey, anticipate run. Well, again, the one trick play for a pass fooled everyone. There was no one in the vicinity of that receiver. And just like that, Glenrock, again, 6 points added on the board, trailing by 4. 18-14 now.
Well, you know, and it's kind of interesting, too, Nick, as you sit here and watch this game. And, again, you've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
Tale of two quarters. First quarter, the Bronx did nothing wrong. Second quarter, they have just kind of ground to a halt. And all of a sudden now, wake up the Glenrock Herders, hey, welcome to Burns.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they've taken their game to the next level where Burns has retreated.
Where, again, Glenrock, again, about 12 minutes ago had, again, no confidence. A team that was just down and out, had nothing, no answer for Burns, now has all the momentum in the world. It's a dangerous team coming out of half now.
Senior night, as they honor 6 seniors for the Bronx prior to the contest. And the sideline of the Bronx, those that are dressed, trying to encourage the crowd to get behind them. It will be, again, Zidek to boot it away. This one will be a little nubber, and the Bronx will fall on it, cover it up at the 37-yard line. Let's see who got back there to cover it up. Looked like one of the interior linemen came back there and covered it up. That would be Jasper Nussbaum.
Absolutely. I'll take this opportunity to thank everyone tuning in tonight. Again, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com on the audio side. Video live streaming as we do for all high school football, basketball, LCCC, men's and women's basketball on the YouTube side, 1480KRAE's YouTube channel. Also to our Facebook page and also to the Pro Show's Facebook page.
I notice you got a great picture now because got the lights off in here. In motion comes Morales. They'll fake the handoff to Morales. Back to pass. David retreats. Gets it off as he floats one out to McLaughlin. Riley will pick up maybe 2 on the pass.
I think there's a few parents and possible scouts out there who appreciate our sacrifice here in the dark. So a positive gain there by Burns on that play. And Burns does have 2 timeouts remaining here, but it doesn't look like they're in any rush.
Second reception for McLaughlin. Ball resting at the 37-yard line with 30 seconds to go.
I think Burns is just happy to, again, have a 4-point lead going into half.
Again, David will operate out of the gun. Sends Lakin in motion. Snap is back. And he'll dump it off to Lakin. Lakin Down the sideline, still on his feet as he gets driven out at the 45. As it will be, as they threw that one out in the flat to Lakin. Let's see, it will be with about 3 seconds to go. Time for one play. Allen will come on in. 3rd down and 1, Nick.
Clock kind of lapsed a little bit after the fact of when he was out of bounds on that one. So, but either way, 3.7 seconds remaining here for Burns to pretty much just go, at least they're going to say actually they got him inbounds.
So the clock will run out as, well, no, it's got 1.8 seconds left.
I think it was just more so that, there we go. Clock operator issue here. Or actually, I do believe possible timeout here.
So
I think, again, it was McLaughlin was still in bounds.
You're messing with me. I thought he got bumped out.
I thought so too as well. I was going with you, but again, they were moving the clock down. So I think that's where I think where Burns is trying to get an explanation on that one.
Well, and what they're doing too is the official does not have a mic, so he's not mic'd up to talk to the scoreboard operator here. So we gotta venture to say that they're trying to figure out how much time has been lost due to the scoreboard error.
Actually, they had time at least back onto it,
3.2 seconds. So
Burns had to use one time out there. So again, they do have one remaining.
One play left in the playbook. 3rd down. Oh, they actually gave him a 1st down to Lakin. Ball right now on the 45-yard line. You got one play left. Back to pass goes David. Fires a hook and lateral to Kirkbride, who gives it off to Allen. Allen wrapped up along the sidelines, and he will be driven out at the 35-yard line. So a nice little hook and lateral there from Kirkbride to Allen, and we have reached halftime. Score at the intermission, Burns 18 and Glenrock 14. We will be back after we take a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
At Fat Boys Tire and Auto, our business is about more than just selling tires and fixing cars. We believe in faith, family, and community. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and 3 generations later, our values have never changed. When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys, and we'll treat you like family. Fat Boys Tire and Auto in Cheyenne, Laramie, Scottsbluff, and Wheatland. Get price quotes and schedule service at fatboystires.com.
The heat is on. We have what's cool right here at Kia of Cheyenne. I'm AJ Miller, and we have the new 2021 Kia Sorento at a cool price. Adaptive all-wheel drive with lock mode will take you to any adventure. Some available features include 10-inch touchscreen, 20-inch wheels, and Bose premium audio. Compare prices on the 2021 Kia Sorento versus other brands. Come by Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows.
LCCC is for everyone. It's a place to create a new path, rediscover a passion, or train for new experiences. We provide accessible learning opportunities that guide our students to a successful career. Here, you are led through a pathway, a journey you select based on your goals. You will explore your interests, share experiences with peers, and discover career possibilities with support and guidance from our whole team and from our greater community. Find your path to new opportunities at LCCC.
Burns, on that last play, Nick, the Bronx actually crossed the midfield stripe, and AARP of Wyoming wants to remind you good things happen after 50. To see what is going on for folks over 50 in Wyoming, check out AARP Wyoming's Facebook page. So Yeah, we didn't forget that. We saw it happen right here, and then we had to make sure on
we
that
got
hook.
well again a lot of confusion on there with again the time. Also, too, was he out of bounds? Again, it's very tough to tell with the boundary lines here, where again they're very faded to the grass here at Burns. So again, a lot of confusion. But yes, absolutely crossed the 50, but still was unable to get points on board.
He got it down to the 35-yard line. So something hopefully to lead a little momentum into the second half. Let me ask you this question. With my light, I got a little lamp in here now, so does that affect you any?
I have no idea at this point.
Okay.
I'm busy with updating a few scores.
All right, so let's take a look at the scoring for the Broncs and the Herders, and then we'll be able to take a break. So for the Broncs, they came out of the box strong. After a drive that stalled by the Herders, it was Morales' first play from scrimmage. 42-yard run, 2-point conversion was no good after they got penalized, no less, and backed them up. So Morales with a 42-yard run for the Broncs put them up quickly 6-0. Then on their next possession with 5:50 to go, it was a Lakin 23-yard touchdown pass from K. David. And, boy, it looked like the Broncs were on the romp. They're up 12-0. The 2-point conversion was no good. Then, to open up the second quarter, Morales on a 5-yard TD run, which was set up by a K. David run, and it's 18-0 in favor of Burns. Burns, it's amazing they can score the touchdowns, but go 2.5 yards, they can't do that.
Yeah, they have
they just
difficulty
can't
on
make
those
the 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
So it's 18-0 in favor of the Broncs. We're sitting here wondering, okay, well, when are we going to call this thing good? 18-0, and then all of a sudden here comes the Herders. And it was paced by one Logan Jones, a 34-yard run, and then it was finished off by, I do believe it was Cox with a 3-yard run. Dusty Cox, as the big fullback, pushed it in for 3 yards. With 3:01 to go, Jones with a 2-point conversion run, and now it's 18-8. We got a ball game.
Yeah, again, a marked difference where we were after that first quarter, where, again, it was all Burns. Glenrock has a little momentum going into, again, that second quarter. Again, a lot of just small positives, and they finally got points on the board.
How about before halftime with a $1:02 to go, and it was an Orozco 22-yard touchdown pass from Logan Jones. This is a team that had not thrown the football on a halfback option.
Yeah, the first pass play by Glenrock, again, was a trick play. It fooled the entire Burns defense. And just like that, again, another 6 points on the board for the Herders.
So with that, it makes the score 18-14 with 62 seconds left. Broncs got the football back. They tried to muster some, pushing it downfield, but also, too, they know they're going to get the ball to open up the third quarter, but that's where we are at. 18-14 at halftime. Now that I have a light, I can add up some numbers.
Basically, at half right now, all momentum is slow, at least solely with the Herders right now. Again, 14 unanswered points for the Herders. Again, as they are 4 points down by Burns. Again, right now, it's going to be very interesting to see how both teams come out in the second half, especially that Burns squad, especially that Burns defense that was so dominated in the first quarter. Again, they looked a little tired, a little winded out there. Hopefully this break will help them out, kind of settle them down, and get them mentally focused for that run game, again, upcoming for the Herders.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, Nick is going to update you on the scoreboard. We'll be back after a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Hey Cheyenne, it's Brendan from Pete's Builders here. As you're probably aware, your neighborhood was just struck by Mother Nature. We've already begun receiving calls to come out and inspect for hail damage in your area. Before you let just anybody hop on your roof to take a look, please understand that we are a locally licensed and insured company that has done business in Cheyenne for nearly a decade. Call us now to schedule your free inspection while we still have availability. Don't be the owner of the roof that gets left behind.
Call 307-514-5489 or go online to petesbuilders.com.
Hey guys. He's not wearing anything.
What? Hi, I'd like to order a hot chocolate, please. What? Are you...
Don't fumble with your family dinner tonight. Score extra points at Two Doors Down. Two Doors Down is wired for football season and with a menu that won't penalize your pocketbook. Two Doors Down menu selections are perfect for the active family, from gourmet burgers and bottomless fries to soups and salads to the all-new platters and, of course, your favorite beverages. Tackle your family's cravings tonight at Two Doors Down, 118 East 17th Street. For full menu and specials, go to twodoorsdown.net. Two Doors Down, flippin' great burgers since 2009.
Let's quickly go over to the sports desk here at Capital Roofing Field, Burns High School.
I don't know about that, but all right.
Boy, you're on the desk, aren't you? Tell us a little bit what's going on. Scores. Holy Toledo. I'm looking at one score. I'm going nuts.
Yeah, on the visual side, you can see what's happening as we're looking at, our local squads. Again, they're in Cheyenne, all 3 high schools, and also 2 out in the county with the Pine Bluffs Hornets. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting right now. We'll start with the games that are about to wrap up here very shortly in the fourth quarter. How about in Laramie right now in the Gym City? The Plainsmen finally get on the board. Again, they have 8 points, but Cheyenne
It's a running
East,
clock, though. Let's rehash. It's a running clock as they get on the board.
Yeah, Cheyenne East, so again, leading 49-8. So East will pick up that victory there again, as that is in the fourth quarter. Also, 2 in the fourth up in Gillette, Wyoming, Campbell County. The Camels, they are up big over Cheyenne South. How about 60-70, 6-0-7.
That's not even a beatdown. That's punishment.
That is, unfortunately, again, for Cheyenne South, that is embarrassment right there. And again, that is nothing you want to see for the Fighting Bison. But yes, Campbell County is going to pick up that victory. Cheyenne South still looking for their first victory here in 2021. At half, the last time we got at least an update out of Saratoga. How about this? The Pine Bluffs Hornets leading 42-0. So again, Pine Bluffs up big at half, 42-0. And last check, again, it's about heading into the second quarter. But Cheyenne Central leading Thunder Basin Bolts in Gillette, Wyoming, 7-0. So how about that? Again, a turnaround from last week. Cheyenne Central leading the Bolts of Thunder Basin.
Well, and we will have Central. We were anticipating to do Central, but this game fell into our lap, and this is our make good on Burns because we missed out on the second football game.
Well,
of the
we
season.
didn't miss out again. It
got
canceled.
It got canceled because of the COVID situation.
Absolutely. So we want to make sure that we give coverage to Burns. We will also to the Pine as well too this season.
We'll have them against Lingle Ford Laramie later in the season. So I want to go back to that Burns score where they've given up 60 points. They gave up 45. That was the least amount of points that they had given up to the Bolts last week. Bolts kind of just said, "Hey, you know what? We're up by 40. It's 45-0.
Yeah.
You know, let's pull back the reins and get ready for Central." So that's 105 points to the 2 Gillette schools. They'd given up 120 plus points to Sheridan as well as Casper Kelly Walsh.
Yeah,
Kelly Walsh put a 70 spot on them.
Yeah, without a doubt. For Cheyenne South, again, it does not get any better. It's something we've talked about for many seasons right now for the Cheyenne South Fighting Bison. Change needs to happen, and again, whether it is on a personnel, at least a staff situation, again, something has to change because, again, it is not getting any better. If not, it's getting worse for the Fighting Bison.
You got to ask yourself this question, and we've asked this. Do we really enjoy watching our kids get their brains beat in?
No.
And again, 3 out of their 4 games have been running clocks. That's not fun. And again, you don't have that many kids out for football.
And it's not a situation of, again, we understand, hey, there's winners and losers, but again, I think those South High players, even with Laramie as well, too, Laramie's been dealing with a lot of issues as well, too, with the Plainsmen. Again, I think those athletes deserve competitive games, not games like this, again, losing 60-7. Again, what does that do to an athlete, to a student athlete? Also, what does that do to the student body to get them enthused for athletics?
Do you really want to go out for football?
Yeah.
230-plus points the South defense has given up in 4 games. That game's not even over yet.
Yeah, again, we will see what happens again next week when we see Cheyenne South for the first time this season. Again, they will be on the road against Cheyenne Central. Again, Cheyenne Central, again, a team that has had difficulty on the offense, but you got to imagine that, again, head coach Mike Apodaca and company, again, kind of licking their chops going, ooh.
Yeah,
that's a game to kind of fine-tune things.
We got South of the schedule, and then they get East after that.
That's going to be enough.
Hey, my goodness. All right, for the Herders rushing in the first half, it was Dusty Cox, 6 rushes for 14 yards. Logan Jones had a couple of 34-yard runs, including one for a touchdown. Logan Jones has really been toting the rock. 13 times, 96 yards. they've only thrown the football one time, Nick, and that was Logan Jones with a 22-yard halfback option pass to Orozco as Aiden Orozco makes the grab and gets the score late in the first half for the Herders, so he has the only catch for 22 yards. Burns Bronx, well, McLaughlin's toe to the rock 4 times for 16 yards. Lakin 1 carry for 2. Morales has carried it 7 times for 65 yards. And for Cade David, and it was kind of ironic, too, because he was doing a pretty good job on the ground. He had 37 yards rushing in 3 rushes. And then he lost 20 on the last 2. One was on a bad punt snap, and he got tacked on for a 15-yard loss. So for David, he has 5 for 17 yards. And looking at the passing stats, we see that Kay Davis, 6 of 8 for 56 yards. On the receiving side, Kirkbride has 2 for 21. Lakin 2 for 30. McLaughlin has 2 for 6. And looks like Allen has a reception for -2 yards. So anyway, that's your stats up to the moment. Our score is 18-14 at the intermission. We will take a 60-second timeout, and we'll be back. We'll get ready for the start of the third quarter. Hopefully the Bronx will get the football. They are expected to get the football, and we'll be back after this 60-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
30 years of service and care for Cheyenne and the surrounding area continues at Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proietti for cars in downtown Cheyenne. This is the only place I take my vehicle for service, be it just an oil change, timing belt, checking on my heating air conditioning unit, and even to replace a burnt-out brake light bulb or worn-out windshield wipers. John and his staff are there to take care of most minor repairs. John is even a TechNet professional. What does that mean to you? He's one of the best when it comes to servicing your car or truck. Check out TechNetProfessional.com today. Open Monday through Friday at 604 West Lincoln Way or call Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service for an appointment at 632-0498.
24 minutes, that means the second half of football here at Capital Roofing Field as the Bronx and the Herders are doing battle right now. And Nick, again, this is a huge conference matchup.
Well, again, we already had a penalty off the bat here as football's going to be advancing. Kind of interesting situation here. It looks like
an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I guess.
I do believe
we
so.
We haven't had the indication yet.
Ball's going to be spotted at the, at least.
I'll let you take a look at that, Nick, while I thank our sponsors.
Go right ahead.
We want to thank Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Wyoming Department of Transportation, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, AARP, Chick-fil-A, across from Powers Field on Windmill, Page and Zach Lane at number 1 Properties, Pete's Builders, 2 doors down, Kia of Cheyenne, Platte Valley Bank, Medicap Pharmacy, High West Energy, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Mary's Mountain Cookies, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, MHP LLP. Also, Laramie County Community College, Holiday Motors, Burns Insurance Company, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Lennox Auto Body, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, Charles Schwab, the LCCC Flight Crew, and Taco John's with our scoreboard. And right now, 18-14 our score as we open up quarter number 3 and with a penalty.
It starts a penalty, again, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Burns Bronx. So, again, that's going to push at least receivers back into their own least territory.
Now you would really want to think about an onside kick, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And look at this alignment for the kickoff.
That's Glenrock again for the kickoff. Going to be spotted on the Burns 45-yard line.
Zidek has it teed up. But, again, instead of having the alignment straight across, they're kind of showing huddled up.
They're kind of showing indication that they might go for the onside.
That's right.
And again, that's a smart situation with Burns. Again, at least having the miscue early on before even the ball's kicked off.
Well, we're still waiting. Scoreboard has gone off, so that's why.
I think that's the delay here.
So that's why we have a delay. You had to mention at halftime, boy, this game's going fast.
Don't blame me for anything.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. When I say it's probably a big night for overtime, you always give me grief when we're talking hoops.
If anything, it reminds us of, again, gets us ready for JUCO basketball with LCCC.
So the scoreboard is
issues
out right now.
Yeah.
It's totally dark. And at least the lights are on.
That's good for now.
So
as now we're going to try to get that all situated as we're a bit of a pause here until we get that back on.
And usually the officials have the game clock on the field.
Yeah.
So I would think that they would be taking control of it. It's usually the umpire who has the official game clock. Scoreboard is out. And right now there's no open sight.
You kind of wonder if that was the unsportsmanlike conduct due to the fact that, well, again, we've seen that before. Again, delay, by a school.
Well,
or,
it would be a delay of game. It would be 5 yards.
I've seen that penalty before called. So they're going to call players back to the sidelines, and again, it's going to be a lengthy delay here.
All right, so while we are in a scoreboard outage delay, it's the Burns Bronx 18 and the Glenrock Herders 14 as we get ready eventually to get the third quarter underway, and we will be back. Let's first take a 60-second timeout. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
No matter what tomorrow brings, some things won't change, like Schwab's commitment to see the world through clients' eyes. That commitment is why Schwab is always here for their clients with clear guidance and committed service to help maintain focus on achieving long-term goals. So whatever happens today, Schwab remains invested in you. Visit schwab.com/Cheyenne to learn how Schwab is ready to help. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
Pooch kick by the Herders. We had a whistle. Looks like a penalty that the Herders might be offside. We got the clock back. Again, you're kind of flipping a coin when I called a 60-second timeout there if they were going to get the clock back or not. So they got it back on, kicked it off just as we came back. And to our astonishment, a 5-yard penalty whistled against the Herders for being offside. So let's back it up 5, Nick.
So put them right at midfield there to kick it off once again. So,
by the way, penalties, that would be number 4 for the Bronx on that 15-yard misconduct. Again, and that would give them on the night 4 for, looks like, 33 yards, and for the Herders, that is their second for 10.
Or actually, again, with the flag, not sure what happened on that one. Ball still spotted on the 45-yard line of Burns. So, not sure. But either way, we'll do the kickoff again.
Here we go again. So, this time it is an onside kick, and it'll be picked up by the next line of defense, curling it up and picking it up for the Bronx. I want to say, as I see him on my roster there, that was Javen Cruz.
It's a little wacky start here to start out the second half here at Burns.
So for the Bronx, they'll come away with pretty decent position. They're at the 29-yard line.
We've said that for every single offensive possession. Again, the issue is that kind of often sputtered.
Well, this time they'll go back to Morales. Morales tries to go off tackle. He's wrapped up, driven back as he crosses the 30 to the 32. Pick up a 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
And offense right now needs to pick it up for Burns. They, again, really sputtered out there in the second half, early second quarter.
Yeah, it just looked like once the Herders got on the board, everything just went. They fell right out of the picture.
Yeah, Burns again, their own worst enemy here.
2nd down and 7 with the ball on their own 32-yard line, and then we have flags again, and it'll be a procedure call against the Bronx. So that will be their 5th penalty for the night. And now it'll make it 3rd down. And we back them up 5, 2nd down and 12, I should say. Kirkbride quickly comes over to the sideline to get the play.
Once again, the Bronx, their own worst enemy with these penalties. They've really picked up here in the previous about 13, 14 minutes of game time.
So McLaughlin will line up to the right side of David. Kirkbride to the near side. Hape out on top. Now they'll switch McLaughlin out of the gun. David back to pass. Plenty of time. Looking long, and it's knocked down by Heiser. Nice job by Heiser.
Good
Put
hands.
a paw out, slapped it down. Looked like he was trying to go for Hape.
But again, that was a lot of white jerseys around that football there. Very, very lucky that was not picked off.
Well, and again with the Bronx getting the ball here in to start the second half, and again with the delay with the scoreboard and all that, it kind of throws you off a little bit. But you'd hate to see the Bronx go 3 and out. You don't need that right now. Again, the momentum, if you're going to check off that column, belongs to the Herders.
Well, they're in jeopardy right now. Again, 3rd and about 11.
So again, David operating out of the gun. Claps his hands, back to pass. Has time. He's going long. Wants it all. He's got Kirkbride in. He can't make the grab. Kirkbride was looking inside. The pass went outside. Incomplete. Kirkbride made a good effort for it, and it will be 4th down. David threw a flutter, but it got there.
That would have been an easy 6 points there as Kirkbride had all sorts of grass in front of him. It went right through his. It basically made the catch right on the forearms.
Well, and the pass was going. It was more going off to the sideline, and Kirkbride was looking for it on the inside. So it will be 4th down. Okay, David will be back deep. Another bad snap, gets the boot away, and it will be a nice bounce for the Bronx, as it will be touched at the 39-yard line. Again, you need to get a snapper who can get the ball back 15 yards. I mean, that's 2 now that have gone 13 yards.
So 3 and out very quickly there for Burns on their first offensive possession. Now it's a chance for Glenrock, who again has all the momentum behind him right now, and scoring 14 unanswered points. They're looking to take the lead here. And again, they will start with good field position as well.
Ball resting on their 39. So, again, we're seeing an opposite of what we saw early in the contest. Heiser will split out on top. He hasn't seen much action. Power I formation. They'll pitch it back. It's down on the turf. Jones will have to reverse his field as he gets outside, sidesteps one would-be tackler. So, turns a disaster into positive, and looks like he was driven out. Let's see exactly where they'll spot him. I think it would be the 40 to the 45. If they do that, it'll be 6 yards.
Yeah, they're going to give him that 45-yard line. So 2nd down and 4 for Glenrock.
Things going well right now for the Herders.
Absolutely. Again, you can tell that this Burns defense, again, having difficulty wrapping up those, at least getting down, getting those tackles.
And again, that was fumbled in the backfield. Figure that was fumbled 6 yards deep.
Yeah. And they still made a positive out of it.
Again, power I as they will hand it off to Jones. Jones fights his way forward. Those big hosses up front provide him with a 1st down, another 6-yard gain for Jones. Logan Jones right now amassing the yards, over 100 yards, by the way. Unofficially, I have him at 108.
As we mentioned, Glenrock will pick up that 1st down as now they're back into Burns territory. Spotting that ball around the 49-yard line.
49-yard line of the Bronx. Taco John scoreboard reads 10:03 to go here in quarter number 3.
Absolutely. What a tell of 2 different teams or 2 different halves, however you want to set up the storyline. But, again, very surprised at what we're seeing here with Glenrock.
Pitch back to Jones, far side. This time the Bronx will come through, bust through, and drop him for a loss. Fogg was one of those tacklers, and I'm trying to grab the other number. I think it might have been Lakin. So for the Bronx, they will drop Jones for a loss of a yard. They'll give him 2 yards on that loss.
That was something we were accustomed to in that first quarter for Burns, and it's been a while since they've been able to get in the backfield.
Well, and again, too, you got the 5 up front plus your backers. Your backers need to start coming up.
Yep.
take your chances. Load the box. Yeah, they did throw that halfback option pass. I understand that, but you do need to load it because the Hosses right now up front, they got that tight alignment, and they pretty much give it away that they're going to run it.
As we will have a stop, a whistle out there. Not sure what the delay is.
Delay of game whistled against the Herders. So the Herders will bounce back 5 yards, and that is their third whistle of the night for 15 yards. 9 minutes to go here, third quarter, Taco John scoreboard. Ball back to the Herder 44-yard line. Again, they need to get to the Bronx 40, so they got some real estate to tend to here. Second down and 16.
I anticipate the Herders keeping this ball on the ground here.
Yeah, or Jones is going to throw another halfback pass. Might want to keep an eye on Orozco when he comes in. Again, tight formation, power eye, back to pass. Goes LaPointe, looking long, incomplete. And again, this time he was looking for Heiser. Heiser was double covered, and it will be third down. Overshot him by about 5 yards, too.
Well off on that throw there. So
that's a nice picture you got.
Boy, 15. It's nice and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we turn the light on, boom, it kind of.
It wasn't that bad, but it's usually right here again, straight on, where it's not that bad. But either way.
8:29. So we might get a. Can we get?
You'll get the glare on that side. Yeah, we can.
Well, I can turn the light that way.
You don't need that light's over there fine. Again, as we're talking about our video live stream, which again we do for all high school football games, basketball, LCCC men's and women's basketball.
My age,
this year.
My age, I actually like that. I can see that pretty good. Heiser split out on top. Third down and long. Back to pass again is LaPointe, and he fires, picked off. On the far side is Hape. Hape down the sidelines. There's a late flag. It's going to come back. Hape is down to the 25-yard line on the return, but again, it looks like it'll be a block in the back, and they're going to return it to the, I would say the flag's at the 35, so it's going to come back to the 45. Coach Morrison not a happy camper on that call, especially on the return. Hape with a great return.
So block in the back against the Burns Bronx, so again, back them up on that spectacular return. But again, Burns will still have the football. That's the important thing.
Sixth whistle against the Bronx.
So again, INT will still stand. Again, Bronx offense, another chance here with great field position. Again, they'll start in Glenrock territory.
Ball resting on the 45-yard line. See, now I can't do that. They cross midfield. I could.
I mean, technically with the INT they did.
On the INT, on that last play, the Bronx cross midfield and ARP Wyoming wants to remind you good things happen after 50. To see what's going on for folks over 50 in Wyoming, check out AARP Wyoming's Facebook page. First down and 10. Thank you to Cody Hape for that interception. In motion comes Lakin, and they'll come back with Morales. Morales kicks it outside, still on his feet. First down yardage and more. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was a nice job by Joe Morales. He gets outside, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. That will be a pickup of 11. First down and 10. So Morales now with my totals. I think I have him for like 76 yards unofficially.
So the first down for Burns here in the second half. And so far, again, a little momentum on their side.
8-minute mark, third quarter, Taco John scoreboard. To the near side is Kirkbride along with Lakin slotted to the near side. And it'll be David calling his own number. Straight ahead, still on his feet, gets away from one tackler, wrapped up, and he'll have first down yardage plus. So let's see where they will spot the football from the 34. Again, on that hash mark to the far side. Looks like right at the 20, 14 yards for Cade David.
So this is a Burns team we've been waiting for a while now. Again, what we saw early in this ball game, they've kind of awakened here in the at least third quarter.
And that wasn't really an RPO run pass. That was just a design play.
Yeah.
Again, a little fake to Morales, but matter of fact, he even carried a tackler with him too. It was a nice job by Cade. Carried Hayden Heiser with him for about 5 yards. Back to pass goes David. Back to pass, looking long. It will be incomplete in the back of the end zone on the near side. Trying to get it to Lakin, incomplete. That had a lot of air underneath it from the 20-yard line.
But again, they are not afraid to air out that ball, get it kind of pinpointed towards that corner end zone. Almost had it there. Again, Burns, it's been quite a while since they've been in the red zone here.
2nd down and 10.
You're kind of seeing this team get a little confidence in themselves again.
Ball resting just inside the 20-yard line. I can see it now. Hash mark to the far side. David out of the gun to Allen. Allen trying to scoot outside, nowhere to go. Maybe back to the 20-yard line, if that. And for Jared Allen, he's had a tough go as he's lost a couple of yards. I'd say lost a yard. 2 rushes now for -3.
Yeah, they're going to say lost a yard on that one. So 3rd down and 11 here for Burns.
That's what you don't need now is a stall. Ball at the 20, outside the 20-yard line.
And again, here's a situation as well, too, where, again, in Class 4A with Central East South, again, we have dedicated players, or at least you can go for the field goal if he hits that fourth down situation. Burns doesn't have that option. They got to go for it.
Yeah, you got to get a snapper and get the ball back to the holder. David calls his own number, gets outside, still on his feet, and wrapped up after getting to the 20-yard line, did a little hop skip, and the tackler brings him down at the, looks like it's going to be a loss.
They're going to say it looks like no gain on that one. They're going to still spot it at 4th and 11 here. So
yeah, it's right at that. So no gain for David.
So Burns' decision's already made. Again, they will have to go for it here again.
Need to get to just inside the 10 for the 1st down.
So we'll change out a few personnel here.
Looks like Morales will come on out.
5:50 remaining here before the 4th quarter starts.
So Lakin and Kirkbride will come to the near side. Out on top will be Allen along with Hape. Empty backfield as McLaughlin will kind of slot to the right side. And then a whistle comes in. And then we're going to get flags all over the place. Cox did a little bit of running into the passer after the whistle had blown. David threw the ball at Cox, so we might get 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Or it might be whistled against the Bronx.
We will see on that one. Again, you might have offsetting penalties possibly.
That's a loss of focus, especially on the Bronx side there, especially by David. I understand the frustration, but again, officials are going to they've been warned to whistle these type of penalties.
So again, we are awaiting the discussion right now between both. Again, Burns
will
be back
against
up.
Burns. So K. David will be whistled for the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. That is penalty number 7.
And it's a costly one there. And again, now sets up a situation. Does Burns now punt this thing? Again, try to go for the short field, or
you might want to pooch kick this. Yeah, I would. So personnel.
So illegal procedure against Burns Bronx.
So you got another 5 yards tacked on, too, because of the initial penalty.
So unsportsmanlike also, too, against Burns.
So
2 penalties, both going against Burns Bronx.
20 yards on the penalties right there for the Burns Bronx. So David will retreat back. Again, the key is getting the ball back to him.
Talk about smart football, and again, how Burns was getting confidence. Yeah. That kind of kills it right there.
Now the referee is talking to K. David, explaining to him why he got flagged. Ball at the 40-yard line, about 41.
Flags still need to be picked up here on the near sideline.
And they'll
no good hands there.
You should say to the ref, and we got that on film. Hey, you eat with those. You eat with those hands.
We didn't get that on film.
Oh, snap is back, and again another whistle. I think because the side judge was not ready.
So we will redo it again. Delays aplenty here at Burns.
Boy, this 3rd quarter has been, ever since the clock went out, has been kind of screwbally. All right, we'll try it again. 4th down. Jones is back deep. He's standing around his 10-yard line. High snap. David gets it away off the side of his foot and will be dropped, or I should say touched by a Bronc, and looks like it was downed. I want to say 21-yard line, Nick?
I do believe so. So Glenrock will have quite a bit of at least yards to cover to get back into the end zone. But
they got a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Burns, though, they had a chance to extend their lead. But again, just a couple miscues, kind of
shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, again, penalties that have just really racked up against the Bronx here. Again, some penalties as well, too, that are inexcusable as well, too.
First down and 10. Hand off to Jones, straight ahead. Fights his way forward to the 24.
As you try to quiet the mic, but it's still going to come on that one. But either way, though,
Sorry.
like a positive yard gain for the Herders on that one. Again, about 3 to 4 yards.
3 yards for Jones. Of course, I don't have my stuff, and the store didn't have what I wanted today. So I'm drinking something that is not good.
Should have got water.
I know.
So that's on you.
Well, I'm taking the best I can here. Second down to 7. Again, they'll go to Jones. Jones wrapped up, driven back. Probably, I'd say no gain.
Yeah, no gain on that one, as that's where they're going to spot the ball on that one. So about third and 7, 36.
Looks like a Bronc coming off the field. Might have got stepped on there. So for third down and long, this is a big time for the defense now to step it up.
Yeah, another huge opportunity here for the defense. They came in clutch the last time, again, with the INT. Now looking to at least get the 3 and out here.
Third down and long at the 23. LaPointe to Jones. Jones will not get the first down. He'll be well short. And a late fumble, and the Bronx come away with it. So there you go for the Bronx. And coming away with that fumble, I do believe, was Brandon Winslow. So for the Bronx, great field position after the Jones fumble.
Both teams kind of played a little sloppy football here in the third quarter.
That is the second fumble. Cox had one back in the first half, and now Jones.
So Burns with another beautiful opportunity here. Again, they just had one as they were in the red zone, coughed it up. See if they can cash in here.
Ball resting on the 26-yard line.
3:57 remaining before the start of the fourth.
Morales will split out on top. Counter action reverse. This time they'll get it to Lakin. He's stretched out, gets out to the outside, puts his head down, drives down to the 25-yard line. All of that running, about 50 yards for 1. So 1 yard on the gain on the reverse for Lakin. So it will be the second down and 9.
An impressive run, though, again, as he lowered his head right into the would-be, at least, defender.
Yeah, again, he stretched it out.
They're actually going to say he didn't even get a gain on
that
one.
Well, I got him. Where the ball is at, he got a yard. This time they'll go to Morales. Morales gets behind the big beef and will be down the sidelines, knocked out, shouldn't have the first down at the 14-yard line. That was a nice run that time by Morales. I think he got behind Fogg. And it will be first down and 10 for the Bronx. Wait a minute. Do we have a hanky on the floor? Yes, we do.
There is. It looks like right at the line of scrimmage. So
let's see what we got.
So far, neither team backing up. It might be against Glenrock.
Preliminary indication now coming from the official referee, as it will be a personal foul face mask against the Herders. So
back them up even
further. Yeah, that'll move it half the distance to the goal. So from the 15, they will move it. Yeah, you got to get a half the distance right there. There you go. There you go. By golly,
that's why they
7.5 yards. Yeah. So an 8-yard penalty on the face mask, and for Morales, it was a gain of 11 yards. First down and goal. Ball right now resting at about 7-yard line. They'll get it to Morales. He gets outside and grabbed by the back of the shirt. And they're going to call it a horse collar. So how about that?
As now Glenrock kind of collapsing in at the seams on this possession.
Interesting.
Burns once again they're going to get gifted here.
Yeah, Morales would have had a sure touchdown. So unfortunately for the Herders, you would think they're like, hey, great stop. But Morales should have had 6.
But again, that's why the flag is out due to that horse collar tackle.
Personal foul. Yeah, and again, no, it's been refused. Oh, there's been 2 penalties.
So 2 personal fouls against the Herders.
Yeah.
So
And now this one will move it even closer inside the 5, and that is down to the 3, so about a 4-yard penalty for the Herders. Wow, they got whistled twice.
So once again, Burns, an opportunity here to add to their 4-point advantage.
How about
they need to?
How about the Herders? They got the daily double in penalties.
Yeah. As both teams racking up penalties aplenty here in this half.
So we'll do it all over again. First down and goal inside the 5, near the 3. It'll be Morales to the left of David. High snap, Morales, boom. Boy, that one looked terrible in developing as we were watching through the field glasses there. And that thing drops Morales for a loss.
Yeah, misassignments on that offensive line there.
Back to the 6, so that's a loss of 3.
We'll keep the clock running as we now are at 2:45 remaining here in the third quarter.
Boy, this has been a drag-'em-out third quarter, hasn't it?
This is a good old-fashioned fight between these two teams right now.
No, but I mean, it's just been blasé.
You want to get a lot of penalties, which again has pretty much been warranted as well too. Again, it's not like they've been questionable calls.
It slows the game down, that's for sure. There's no ebb and flow when you get to that many penalties. David sends Lakin in motion on the reverse. Lakin, turn around. No sign yet. The pylon is still upright. Lakin will get it down to the 1. A 5-yard run for Lakin. And it will be third down and goal.
We'll see. He stepped out of bounds as well, too. We'll stop the clock.
With 2:13 left on the Taco John scoreboard, period number 3.
So third and
Bronx
1.
knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Third down and goal from the 1.
And need to come away with points here. Again, it is at least 4 down territory for the Burns Bronx.
You know, David's about 6'2", 6'3". I'd line up over center if I were him. Guess what? He's over center. Third down and goal, McLaughlin. The lone back behind him. David goes off tackle, spin around. He's in. Touchdown. Burns Bronx. So, Kaden David with the TD. 1 yard. And the Bronx finally score. It's been a while since they scored.
It's been since about midway.
11:01 through the second quarter.
Yeah, so get it right there with that touchdown. 10-point advantage as of right now, 24-14, Burns Bronx.
A lot of penalties aiding that touchdown for the Bronx. Of course, it was set up by the Hape interception.
Now Burns will go for that 2-point conversion,
which they have failed to make. We didn't see it last year against the Eagles. They never got a score on the 2-point conversion. So in our book, they're 0 for 5.
Yeah.
So here we go. Little fake, and Kirkbride will be on the receiving end of a 2-point conversion. Nice job.
Haskell shall receive.
As they did a little halfback fake, and again, David will deliver a strike to Kirkbride for the 2-point conversion. It's the Bronx leading 26-14, 2:09 left to go. Period number 3, we're back. After this 30-second timeout, you're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
Last score that the Bronx had was about 11:01 to go, period number 2. How about Kaden David here in quarter number 3 as they will get on the board and extend that lead after the 2-point conversion. They're back up by 10. It's now 26-14.
So how about that? A little boost of confidence for this Burns Bronx squad. Again, finally getting points on the board. It has been quite some time. Again, they had all sorts of opportunities. They pretty much got handed those points by the Glenrock Herders. Again, not all the amount of penalties that were against that squad.
Yeah, the Herders, they have picked up now 6 penalties on the night.
But again, they had, at least in that last offensive possession for the Burns Bronx, again, Glenrock picking up back-to-back personal fouls against them.
So Morales to boot it away. Logan Jones, the deep back. Faber is near him. This one end over ender, and it will come down into the hands of Faber. He'll pick it up on the far side, and he is hit hard and driven down at the 28-yard line. So Terrence Faber, the tight end for the Herders, will get the kickoff. That time Morales put a foot into it. That's one of our deeper kicks that we've seen this evening.
Absolutely. So once again, Glenrock will have to go a bit of a distance to see that end zone, which again trailing by 12 points now.
They're on the hash mark to the far side. Ball on their own 28-yard line. 2:04 left to go here in the period. First down and 10. Cox, the lead back, in motion this time is Heiser. Heiser will line up as a tight end to the far side. They'll go to Jones. Jones wrapped up by Fogg as he crosses the 30 down to the 31. And that'll be a pickup of 3 for Logan Jones. Again, this is the 3 yards cloud of dust type of offense, but clock may not be their best friend right now.
However, they do have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
$1:40 left to go here in the third period. Again, we will be at Milt Risky Field next Friday evening, Central South. And the Indians, last we saw, were getting pretty healthy at Thunder Basin, where the Bison were laying an egg at Campbell County.
We'll get those score updates from all those games.
Second down and long. Jones off tackle. Skirts to the outside to the 40-yard line. Driven down at the 43. Nice run that time by Logan Jones. He'll pick up 13 and a first down. So let's see, they'll say the 40, the 43. So give them 13 as I have.
First positive play in quite some time for the Glenrock Herders right there, picking up the first down with about a minute remaining before the start of the fourth quarter.
Again, Jones, he's wide-eyed as he hits the hole, and then he has the presence of mind to bounce off, and he's a tough tackle. So right now, first down and 10 with the ball resting at the Herder 43-yard line. LaPointe again to Jones, another stoppage of play.
Flag will be on the field. Again, you got to imagine that's going against Glenrock.
Yeah, it will be against the Herders.
So back them up.
So for Glenrock, procedure. Again, they don't have the 10 and 15 yarders because those big penalties happen towards the end zone, Nick. I've got them whistled now for 7 penalties. Burns has been whistled for 8. 15 flags, and in this quarter alone, we've amassed 8 flags.
Yeah, I was going to say again.
Half of them will come in this quarter.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's really picked up a really sloppy football by both teams here in this quarter.
So
neither coaches, again, whether it's head coach Downey or, again, head coach Morrison, not too happy.
First down and 15. In motion comes Heiser. Near side to flank on the far side to Jones again. Jones going off tackle. Gets over the 40-yard line to the 41. Gets back about 3 of those penalty yards.
And that will be the last play of the third quarter.
As time has expired. After 3, it is the Bronx leading 26-14 over the Glenrock Herders. We'll be back with quarter number 4 after we take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne. Visit Halliday Subaru in Cheyenne. At Halliday Subaru, you'll find one of the largest Subaru selections in Wyoming, always at low Halliday common sense prices, including the most popular Subaru models like Outback, Forester, and the Ascent. View lease and finance specials online at HallidaySubaru.com. Then visit Halliday Subaru, Westland Road, Motor City, Cheyenne. Experience the Halliday difference, the beginning of hassle-free driving.
High school football on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. Larry Proietti, Nick Proietti. We get ready to start quarter number 4. What do you got?
A couple scores, a couple finals. We'll get to the three of them. Pine gets a victory over Saratoga, 52-0. How about this? Cheyenne East wins over Laramie, 49-8. And then Camel County, the Camels, they win over Cheyenne South, 65-15.
65-15 Camels. Excuse me, not the Camels, but the Bison and the Indians coming up next week. Logan Jones goes off tackle, still on his feet, and will be driven back. And a late flag comes across the way. That might be some extracurricular activities. Ball right now rested on the 48-yard line.
That might be, again, kind of a little shove out of bounds situation for the Burns
that'll
Bronx.
be unsportsmanlike conduct. That'll be another 15 tacked on. So let's see what we got.
I think that might be the indication as Burns will be backing up. It will go against the Bronx. So we're getting a little extracurricular after the tackle.
And they'll move it back.
So both teams shooting themselves in the foot here.
That's a major. That's 15 yards. Again, the numbers for the Bronx tonight is astounding on their penalties.
That's something, again, if we get the chance to talk with post-game with head coach Brad Morrison, again, something to bring up.
They do those penalties. They do them good. That's for sure. They get their money's worth.
Yeah.
First down and 10. This time to Jones, and Jones kind of bumped into LaPointe and will be dropped for a loss. That'll be a loss of 3. Jones was hit pretty hard. So on his 21st rush of the night, he's dropped for a loss of 3. I want to go back here on the penalties. You go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, going back at least score-wise as well, too, again, out of those 3 finals, again, East winning, Pine winning, and also, too, Campbell County over Cheyenne South winning. In the third quarter, how about this? It's very close up in Gillette, Wyoming at Thunder Basin, where at least between Cheyenne Central and Thunder Basin, 7-3 advantage Indians.
So with the, as you were doing that, 43, 63, and 20 more. 83 yards in penalties.
That didn't give you enough time to calculate all that, as we will have a Burn Bronc stepping off the field.
That looks like fog might be coming off.
Yeah, he has a helmet off. It looks like he might have got a little rattled on that one. We'll see if they're going to do a concussion protocol with him.
I don't know. He's smiling. I don't think so. Probably just needs a little bit of water. He's been on the field like the entire game. Second down, 13. As LaPointe hands it off to Jones. Jones again, still on his feet, and then he's clobbered. Oh, my. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you what, though, when he was standing up straight, he got punished for it.
Yeah, he got popped on that one, so positive gain, though, however,
about
for
5. We'll get back, looks like about 6 of those yards. So it'll be third down 7.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining here as we are into the fourth quarter.
A lot of time left, too, Nick. 10:50 on the Taco John scoreboard.
We say that, but again, both teams very heavy here, at least Glenrock, very heavy on the rush. Again, we'll eliminate a lot of time off that clock.
Hash mark to the far side, 4-down territory. They'll pitch it to Jones as he'll kick it outside, try to cut it back inside, and may have first down yardage plus. So they needed to get to the 24, and it looks like he got the 22.
Yeah, so first down there for the Glenrock Herders.
9 yards for Jones. Again, Jones well over 100 yards by my count.
As Glenrock again trying to answer back, trying to get back into this contest, again trailing by 12.
Ball right now looks like the 23. So it'll be first down as Heiser splits out on the far side. They'll pitch it out to Jones. Jones again cuts it back inside and then drives forward. And we got a flag. Flag in the backfield. Usually that will be whistled against the Herders. So I would venture to say that the Bronx will take that penalty.
As that will be the indication that Burns will accept that.
So now the penalties again are amassing for both teams. So the Bronx have been whistled 9 times, the Herders 8, 17 penalties, and we're into the 4th game of the season. Technically for Burns, only their third game.
A lot of inexperience, a lot of youthfulness out there by both teams, and showcasing with the penalties.
So that will move the ball back to the 40. Now, again, understand that penalty, Nick. That is a spot foul.
So it's spotted at least ball at the 40-yard line.
The 30. Well, the foul happened. The infraction happened at the 30. So wow, that is a huge penalty. 17-yarder. So now, first down and long. Rolling to his right is LaPointe. Steps up, fires, and picked off by Lakin. Lakin will grab the football. He outstretches and makes the grab at the 29-yard line of the Bronx. So that is huge on the INT. That is 2 now that LaPointe has thrown. That is the 4th turnover for the
That's twice here in this second
Herders.
half. Yeah, twice in this second half alone.
Jones has completed the only pass for the Herders. That was that touchdown to Orozco, the halfback option. 9:35 to go in the game.
So Burns, an opportunity here to put a nail in the coffin in this contest.
Burns going left or right across your radio and along with the live stream, and nowhere to go for Morales, and a huge loss. Oh, my. That one, they just came blitzing through, and they'll drop Morales for a huge loss.
About a 6-7 yard loss.
That's about 6 yards right there on that loss. Second down and 16. They need to go north, not south. South is the end zone they're defending right now.
You want to go towards Casper, not towards Colorado.
Yeah, we want to stay away from Carpenter and Grover. We want to go to Casper. Or actually, we want
Torrington.
to go to, Torrington. Second down is 16. As David operates again out of the gun, and we'll keep it on the ground of Morales. Morales trying to get back that lost yardage, pick up maybe about 3, possibly 4, and it will be third down.
Anticipating that Burns going to be very run heavy as well too here. Again, trying to kill a lot of time off that clock.
Third down and 13.
8:30 remaining here in this contest. Burns again looking for their first victory here in 2021.
So the clock right now, under 8.5 minutes to go. Looks like about 8 minutes and change. Third down. We'll call it a long 12. David, again, out of the gun. To his right is Morales. Back to pass goes David. Looking long, got a man, and overshoots his receiver. That was Hape. Hape was going to try to sell it as pass interference, but Jones, that'd be Logan Jones not anywhere close to him.
Yeah, not even in a remote area for the PI on that one. So it'll be a fourth down.
And for Caden David, he's missed on his last 4 shots. So Logan Jones will retreat, anticipating the punt from Caden David.
So another 3 and out for this Burns offense.
He'll be around the 45-yard line. Heiser also will come back near the 50. And again, with the Herders, they should get good field position. Big rush put on. Nice foot by David. Jones escapes 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, 3 tacklers down the sideline, and then he is knocked out of bounds on the Burns side of the football field. Looks like the 45. I'll tell you what, they were hitting hard, and we got an injured Bronc across the way.
Can't see what number that is for Burns on that side.
I don't want to guess the number. I want to say that might be Connor Manlove, who's hobbling.
So now you can see the number indication.
Connor Manlove,
he's hobbling, and it looks like, again, something with the leg.
Let's hope it's just a cramp.
Yeah.
That would be.
But it looks like he's in a lot of pain, which, again, with a cramp, absolutely. But
again, and we saw a lot of that. Was it last week when it was
last week when it was 90
against Sheridan?
Yeah, Central and Sheridan.
And if it's just a cramp, that would be.
And it looks like, again, with at least one coach right now trying to stretch him out.
Yeah,
it's a cramp.
That's that ever lovely calf cramp, and oh man,
it stinks.
Oh, it hurts. Well, good news, he's going to come off under his own power, and the ball.
Get that guy some electrolytes.
Let's see, for the Herders is right now at the 47-yard line. That's where Jones was knocked out of bounds. Great field position. First down and 10. LaPointe will pitch it back to Jones. Jones fights his way. Boy, I'll tell you what, he's slithery as he gets down to the 44-yard line. They had him bottled up right at the line of scrimmage, and somehow, some way, he got through the penetration to the 43, give him 4 yards on the run, and it will be 2nd down and 6.
But the important thing as well, too, is tick, tick, tick goes the clock right now as, again, for Glenrock, they're down by at least 2 scores.
2nd down and 6. And let's check out where the ball is at for the Herders.
Looks like they're going to spot that around
43. Yeah.
So Glenrock in Burns territory.
2nd down and 6.
7
looks
minutes.
Looks like Manlove is okay.
7 minutes remaining here before the end of this contest as we're going to have a timeout by Glenrock, as I thought. And time was winding down.
Yeah, you felt the Herders were going to get they're going to need the stop clock, especially with this offense. Well, we'll be back after this 60s. Let's do a 30-second timeout. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Are you a High West Energy member? Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 on a gas-fired water heater, or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more, or call 307-245-3261.
You next Friday, you and me again?
Yep. As, again, Grant will be on the road with the Cowboys as they'll be out in Connecticut.
The I Will Never Retire Pro Man, along with Junior Pro Man, we will be at Risky Field. Central will be playing host to the South High Fighting Bison,
assume it's a 7 o'clock start time.
Who got just simply destroyed up at Gillette this evening. Here, it's 26-14. 6:55 to go. They'll pitch it back to Jones. Jones again thought about throwing, and then this time he runs out of real estate and then is driven out of bounds. No flag.
Close on that play.
Yeah, you almost felt there was going to be some laundry coming out.
That was aggressive on the sideline there, but again, ref said it was good. So
Jones wanted to throw, but did not, and then decided to tuck it away. As he was getting close to the sideline, it looked like maybe a gain of 1, so it'll be 3rd down. We'll call it a long 5.
So, again, regarding next Friday for us, again, on 1480 KRAE, we'll have the crosstown battle, the rivalry between Central and South. Again, Central hosting that ball game, anticipating the 7 o'clock start time. Again, we'll update that on the social media side. So,
Central was leading Thunder Basin last we saw.
Yeah, 7-3 in the 3rd quarter up there in Gillette.
Getting a great defensive effort tonight. To Jones. Jones close to the 1st down and then driven back. Probably got about 4 of those yards.
And with that contest as well, too, as we focus on that Central Thunder Basin game here tonight, again, up there in Gillette, again, it's hard to figure out that Thunder Basin squad. Again, getting the road win against Cheyenne East, losing to Rock Springs, dominating last week.
4th down and short for the Herders, as again Jones picking up 4 of those yards, and again those were 4 hard charging yards. Again, 4 down territory, you got to go for it now.
This is a big key stop here for Burns.
6:05 left to go on the Taco John scoreboard. Heiser will split to the near side, I formation. Cox along with Jones, and again a hard count, and the Bronx may be offside.
I think that will be it's encroachment against the Bronx, so automatic 1st down for Glenrock.
So
on the hard count.
How about 10 penalties against the Burns Bronx tonight? Well, that is
film is not going to be a fun day for this squad.
Yeah, and again, if we get that opportunity to talk to Coach Morrison, and again, you know, you had the COVID situation. We understand you had a short turnaround for practice before you got ready for Tongue River. Again,
but you had a full week to prepare.
You had a full week for this one, and way too many mistakes. Handoff this time to Jones. Jones cuts back outside to the near side, and then he's driven down at the 22-yard line. That might be enough for the 1st down. Nice job by Jones.
It's going to be close, and no indication so far as the clock still runs down here.
They're going to give him 9.5 yards.
So keeps that clock running.
Yeah, they're going to say 9-yard run for Jones. I thought he had the full 10.
As we approach 5 minutes remaining here in this contest, 3 timeouts for Burns, 2 only for Glenrock.
So for the Herders, they need to get into the red zone. They need to get into the red zone in a hurry. However, they're taking their time. Clock is still winding. This I don't understand. LaPointe brings up his offensive unit, stood there for about 5 seconds. Now we'll pitch it back to Jones. Jones try to cut back inside, feels his way through, dives forward, has the first down yardage and more, and he will be stopped, it looks like, inside the 20. Let's see where they're going to give him.
Should be good enough for the first down, though, as they will advance those markers.
And they're right at the 20-yard line, so give them 3 more yards, and it's a first down at 10, right in the red zone.
So clock now continues to wind down.
Yeah, big time-consuming drive. Obviously, they don't want the Bronx to get the football back, but you're down by 12. I don't think
it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, you don't get 2 touchdowns for running it in. LaPointe under center, back to pass, fires, and just overshoots Orozco, Aiden Orozco. It will be second down.
Almost fooled the Bronx once again on that, at least passing play. Again, similar to what we saw for the first touchdown for Glenrock. And that was nothing but green grass in front of him.
So LaPointe is 0-1-2 on the night, where Logan Jones is 1 for 1 and a 22-yard touchdown pass. So they don't throw it a lot, obviously, you can tell.
But it will stop the clock, 4:21 remaining.
Second down and 10. Ball resting on the 20-yard line. Hash mark to the far side. I formation behind LaPointe, pitches it back to Jones. Jones wrapped up, gets away from a tackler, and crosses the 15, maybe down to the 14. Let's see again. The official is inside or outside the 15. So let's see what they do. They'll give him 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5.
That tackle was also made inbound. So again, clock still continues to run as Glenrock in no real rush.
Well, if I have my numbers right, I've got Jones with 31 rushes tonight. Talk about carrying the load. They'll pitch it back to Jones again. Jones gets outside. Nice move, and he is driven out of bounds. Close to the first down as he's driven out around the 12. That'll be another 3-yard gainer for him. And, you know, and the sad part for Logan Jones, he got that long bus ride home.
Yeah. Give that guy a lot of ice, at least a lot of ice bags for those legs.
That, your neck, your calves. Yeah. 4th down and about a yard. Could be the ball game right here.
Another opportunity here for the Bronx defense to get a stop. Again, it will be ball game.
Last time, a hard count on 4th down. Messed things up for the Bronx. Kept this drive alive.
Anticipate the same thing for the Herders here. To go for that, at least hard count.
4th down to Jones. Jones off tackle. Skirts back inside. Still on his feet. It'll be 1st down and goal. As they will give him, looking at the one official, he is standing near the 5. So it will be 1st and goal from the 5. And you got people picking up Jones right now. That's how much he's been carrying the rock.
So clock will continue to run now.
Yeah, you're
3:20 remaining.
You're going to have to think about stopping it at one point. And right now, the Bronx, they could help their cause by making a stop. Well, that offensive line right now is just beating up the Bronx defense. 1st and goal from the 5. Back to pass, goes LaPointe, steps, throws, got a man, touchdown. That is Heiser on the quick slant. So LaPointe hitting Heiser for 6.
Ball game is not over. Now Glenrock trailing by 6 points, but in the 2-point conversion attempt here. With 3:01 remaining, 2 timeouts for the Herders. We still got a ball game here.
So on the Heiser reception, it draws them within a half dozen. This 2-point conversion right now.
This is huge.
Yeah, you said it right there. 3:01 left to go in the game. They'll give it off to Jones. Jones behind that right side. He's in and count it. 2-point conversion for Logan Jones. Unfortunately, you don't put that down in his stats, but you give him the 2 points. So, with 3:01 to go on the Taco John scoreboard, Burns 26, Glenrock 22. The exciting final 3 minutes coming up after we take a 60-second timeout. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Be part of the Golden Eagle experience. The Laramie County Community College Golden Eagle Club and the LCCC Flight Crew extends best wishes to all of the area's student athletes this season. Take flight and support all the action and fun of LCCC athletics. You can find complete details at golccc.com. Go Eagles!
For nearly 30 years, family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community with quality and customer satisfaction. It's a pretty simple drill. When you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body for an appointment at 307-634-6608. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Score update out of Gillette, Wyoming. Right now, the Thunder Basin Bolts up 10-7 over Cheyenne Central. That game in the fourth quarter.
All right, we are ready to possibly see an onside kick here from the Herders. Now they will break that huddle. Zidek will come up, approach the ball, and now will back up. Again, I still would think that the onside kick is a possibility. Well, they'll squib it. It's picked up by Hape at the 33, 35-yard line, and then hit out of bounds and a late flag. And the late flag will be on, I think it's going to be on Roscoe, Aiden Roscoe. So with that.
So both teams with kind of interesting, again, not smart plays right there, again, at least hitting out of bounds. So personal foul going against the Glenrock Herders. So
Herders with their 9th penalty, and this is going to be a big one.
And that means Burns will have phenomenal starting, at least, position here in Glenrock territory.
Well, and again, too, for the Herders, as you mentioned, they've got 2 timeouts left. Burns can basically sit on this thing if they get a first down.
Yeah. So anticipate, again, heavy run here by the Burns Broncs.
Well, nothing to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
Ball on the 45-yard line of the Herders. First down and 10. K. David, the quarterback for the Broncs, out of the gun. And this time to McLaughlin. McLaughlin right over the middle, and he will drive down to the 41-yard line. That is a pickup 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6.
No timeout called yet for the Glenrock Herders. It's 2:40 remaining here.
Well, you kind of play that wait-and-see game here. If you get them on third down and long, maybe. Again, you only got 2 timeouts, so they're almost like gold right now. You got to preserve them. If you get them third down and long, I would call that timeout. Trips out on top. David on the counter action again and again. This might play into the hands of the Herders. Stop for a loss, and then late activity, and another flag comes down, and that will be unsportsmanlike conduct. That will be whistled against Tristan Fleming. So that will be a first down.
You talk about a playbook there again, or at least what Glenrock had playing there, where again it fell into their hands, now negates it, and instead you just pretty much had it Burns' ball game there.
Their last 3 penalties have been for 17, 15, and 15, and that will move the football down to the 29-yard line.
And again, fresh set of downs as well, too. So just like that, again, as I mentioned with the penalty, again, clock will run. Burns looking like they're going to pick up their first victory here.
Ball at the 28. First down and 10. 2-minute mark. It will be Morales along with McLaughlin in the backfield. Riley now will slot to the right side. Hand off to Morales. He tried to cut back inside and bumped right into Dewey Cox, but again picked up maybe a yard on the play, and a timeout has been called.
The Herders will call their second timeout, 1 remaining for them at 1:40 remaining in this contest. Again, Burns up by 4.
So with that run by Morales, again, he had 65 yards at the break. He hasn't really toted it too much here in the second half. We'll keep it here as, again, the Broncs, as you say, are in search for their first win. And, again, this is a very important conference matchup. Next week for the Broncs, they, as I have all my schedules here, they will be at on the road. They got the Bighorn Rams. So,
that's a tough one.
But, yeah.
That's extremely tough.
And if you play like this against the Rams, you're going to get your head.
Yeah, Bighorn's going to embarrass you. Again, that's a team absolutely where we saw with Sheridan last week with against Cheyenne Central. Again, you give up those penalties, you give up those kind of miscues, they're going to make you pay for it. Absolutely. So that's something for head coach Brad Morrison. Again, got to be aware of that. Got to get this team kind of finely tuned on the penalty side.
Herders will be at home. They will host Wheatland, the Bulldogs, and that's no easy task as well. Again, there's no easy football night in Class 2A, especially on the East. Second down and 9. High snap to McLaughlin. He goes absolutely nowhere. Matter of fact, back to the 30-yard line.
And that will be the final timeout call for Glenrock, stopping the clock at 1:33.
So no gains on the last couple because they gave none to Morales. So it'll be third down along 10. Again, we'll keep it here.
Chance right now to, again, look at the scores. Again, we're still waiting for a final up there in Gillette right now between Thunder Basin and Cheyenne Central. But last time we checked in the fourth quarter, Thunder Basin bolts up 10-7 over Cheyenne Central. Finals for the other squads around here in Laramie County. We'll start with the 2 Cheyenne schools. Again, Cheyenne East wins big 49-8 over the Laramie Plainsmen. And also, too, the Campbell County Camels get a big victory, 50-point victory over Cheyenne South, 65-15 up there in Gillette, Wyoming. And then in Class 1A, 9-man football, how about the Pine Bluffs Hornets? They pick up the 52-0 victory over Saratoga.
Speaking of Hornets, they will be in Yoder next weekend. They will take on Southeast. That will be a very important clash for Coach Will Gray.
So we already know, again, with our Burns, Pine, also, too, we will have Central and South. That leaves Cheyenne East.
East will have Sheridan at the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex.
That's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a tough one as well, too.
Yeah, and we saw Sheridan. So, again, if they could stop Casas, that's the first thing you got to do, that number 7 kid. And then you also got to stop Askins, the quarterback. Holy cow. They're loaded offensively. Third down, and David will call his own number. Cade drives forward. They're trying to pull the ball out of his mitts, but he holds on tight.
Flag thrown at least on the far end of the field.
And that stops the clock. So with that, let's see what we have. It will be holding against the Broncs. You know what? I know some time has elapsed, but I would take that penalty.
We will see the indication there.
I don't want to give him fourth down and short. So it will, and it's declined. Wow. So it'll be fourth down. So the Broncs will not have their 11th penalty. So fourth down with 1:25 to go.
Speaking of the Broncs, how about the Sheridan Broncs? Again, as we were looking at the other, at least our county schools, Sheridan does pick up the 27-24 victory over Rock Springs.
Oh my, what a game! And that was at Sheridan tonight too.
So the Broncs will be your number 1 team. They will be your last undefeated team in Class 4A.
All right, here we go. It is fourth down and about 7. In motion comes Leggett offside, and about 3 of the Herders came offside. I do believe that might be against Glenrock, and yeah, they're backing up. That is their 11th penalty of the night. Wow.
But it will still set up, again, a fourth down situation here for Burns.
But it makes it a lot shorter, though.
A lot easier, yeah.
So it is fourth down and 3. They need to get to just inside. I got to look across the way there where the stick is at. Looks like about the 18. Ball right now on the 21. So they need to get to that 18-yard marker, and then we can stick a fork in this one. Or maybe another hard count again by K. David might get them. McLaughlin is lined up to his right, out of the gun, and another whistle. Now a delay of game, so we just returned the 5-yard penalty.
Either team wants to win this football game here.
You want to talk about a game of mistakes. How about 22 penalties whistled against each combined tonight, 11 for each team.
How about that, though, again? You basically had offsetting penalties by both teams there, and now it's a 4th and long once again for the Burns Bronx.
1:05 to go.
That clock, again, has not stopped. It will, or at least has not started again. We'll start when the ball is finally snapped here.
So, 4th down. David back to pass. Pocket breaks down, rolls to his right. He's got a man. It's caught. And out of bounds after making the grab. I want to say that's Carter David. So Carter David makes the grab and the first down with the ball resting now at the 13-yard line. So that will be a big pickup on the play.
And for Burns, you simplify it, it's fall on ball time. Again, victory formation with picking up that first down.
Wow, what a big grab there by Carter David.
That was huge. So victory formation set up here for the Burns Bronx. Will pick up their first victory here in 2021.
And over center goes K. David. Takes a knee with under a minute to play. They'll have to snap it one more time. So for the Bronx, they improved to 1-3. And have only played 3 games. They got hosed out of one because of this Delta variant that is flying around the country. And again, most importantly, they're 1-1 now in the conference. For the Herders, they dropped to 2-2. They're 0-2 in conference as David takes a knee for a final time. I don't believe they're going to have to snap it again. So for the Burns Bronx, a game that really, especially here in the second half, no ebb and flow, but they had enough to hold on and win. Final score from Capital Roofing Field here in Burns at Burns High School. Bronx win 26-22 over the Glenrock Herders. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back right after this. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Come in from the heat. We have what's cool right here at Kia of Cheyenne. I'm AJ Miller, and we have the 2022 Kia Sportages at cool prices. All-wheel drive, available turbo power, or a decked-out Nightfall edition will impress everyone. Compare what you get for the money against other brands in its class. Come in and see the Kia Sportage at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Fat Boys Tire and Auto.
When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and we offer your family the best selection and service in the region with expert advice and quality work done right the first time. Get price quotes and schedule service at fatboystires.com.
Before you go flat, you better go fat. Fat Boys Tire and Auto.
WHSAA is for everyone. It's a place to create a new path, rediscover a passion, or train for new experiences. We provide accessible learning opportunities that guide our students to a successful career. Here, you are led through a pathway, a journey you select based on your goals. You will explore your interests, share experiences with peers, and discover career possibilities with support and guidance from our whole team and from our greater community. Find your path to new opportunities at LCCC.
As the Bronx pick up a win, and again a conference win by the count of 26-22. Nothing really impressive about the second half, I guess, was more of the Lakin interceptions.
Yeah.
That was big, but I think the big story was here in the second half, Nick. Look at the rash of penalties. 22 penalties called, 11 against each team. Holy cow. And then you look at what happened, especially to the Herders, where they picked up those penalties near the goal line. Again, the horse collar.
Yeah.
They had an unsportsmanlike conduct. And then they got the big ones here towards the end, and those were the ones that came back to haunt them.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, neither team in that second half played pretty football. Absolutely not. So, but again, Burns was able to cash in, get that touchdown, again, keep that lead. Again, albeit with Glenrock at least picking up their touchdown. But either way, though, again, a win's a win for the Burns Broncs. You get that monkey off your back, and you are now at least finally have a +1 in the win column this season.
Well, and this also negates a great gutty performance by one Logan Jones, who, again, my count, carried the ball 33 times tonight. Wow, 33 times. I'm going to need a calculator to figure out everything that he did tonight, Nick. So if you got some scores loaded up, that would work for me.
I got nothing really to
All right,
update.
well, let's take a quick 60-second timeout. I will finish up those numbers on Jones. And we'll be back after the 60-second timeout. You're listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Hey Cheyenne, it's Brendan from Pete's Builders here. As you're probably aware, your neighborhood was just struck by Mother Nature. We've already begun receiving calls to come out and inspect for hail damage in your area. Before you let just anybody hop on your roof to take a look, please understand that we are a locally licensed and insured company that has done business in Cheyenne for nearly a decade. Call us now to schedule your free inspection while we still have availability. Don't be the owner of the roof that gets left behind.
Call 307-514-5489 or go online to petesbuilders.com.
Like they've been nice. Hey guys. He's not wearing anything.
What? Hi, I'd like to order a hot chocolate, please. What? Are you...
High School Capital Roofing Field. So while we were in the break there, I had a chance to add up Logan Jones's numbers. So carrying the rock 33 times, 173 yards. Again, unofficial by my numbers, but again, not much in the way of support. You look at Dusty Cox carried the football a total of 6 times, as I have him here for looks like 5 times, that is, for his 14 yards. Jones carried the football every down for the Herders in the second half. Again, LaPointe threw the football, obviously not his strong point for the Herders, where, again, he was 1 of 2 interceptions. Jones was 1 of 1 for 22 yards. So, again, the Broncs picking up a much-needed victory here at home. Still got some issues they got to deal with, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with head coach Brad Morrison. I thought he was on his way up here. I don't know if he...
I don't believe so.
Well, he hasn't been able to get through the gate yet. Again, this is Friday Night Lights here in Burns, Wyoming. This is the thing for this entire community to come on out.
Thing to do. And
everybody is kind of saying congratulations to Coach Morrison. He might make it through the gate now. I'm going to. The Brad Morrison watch is on from the press box.
But either way, again, as we're waiting for Coach Morrison to hopefully get here to talk again, at least post-game with, again, sizing up things. Again, Burns picking up their first victory, 1-3 on the season. Again, they win tonight's game, 26-22. Again, Glenrock will fall, as you mentioned, again, 2-2 overall. Our next contest here on 1480 KRAE will be next Friday night, live back in Cheyenne at Risky Field, Central versus Cheyenne South. At least that rivalry, that crosstown rivalry. So looking forward to that contest. Anticipating the start time for that one, 7 o'clock. Hopefully, I don't know where you're pointing at. I cannot see.
Coach Morrison's finally going to make it up here. So we're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back. We will talk with Burns.
Let's make it a 2.
No, a 60-second timeout. We'll be back with Coach Brad Morrison after these words. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Enjoy your summertime fun, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries, picnics, and other get-togethers, by making sure you always have Mary's Mountain Cookies on hand for everyone to enjoy. Mary's Mountain Cookies has gourmet and specialty cookies, including their delicious ice cream cookies. They also have party trays for those special celebrations. So stop into the only dessert shop in historic downtown Cheyenne and get your sweet treats today at Mary's Mountain Cookies, 315 East Linkaway, or call and place your order at 307-514-0404.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Roofing Field, Burns High School. Brad Morrison joins us on our post-game show. Coach, again, and I'm sure both you and Coach Downing probably a little bummed out by the assessment of flags that we had. I mean, there was each team got drilled 11 times. That penalties that were taken, a couple of them were dismissed, but that has to be a downer for both you and Coach Downing.
Yeah, kind of disrupts the flow of the game. A little sloppy, but ugly win, still a win, I suppose.
You know, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. It disrupts the game. Tell me, from a coaching standpoint, you know, when you get a call of unsportsmanlike conduct, and again, we saw about 4 of them handed out. I mean, you're backed up 15 yards. What does that do to your playbook?
Yeah, I mean, it limits a lot. You know, they're playing a lot of coverage stuff. They're really leaving us a light box, and then you get in 2nd and 25 or something like that. I mean, it kills you. You know, we felt like we had some field position. We lost. We got a doggone penalty coming out of half. That one's on me, just being late here. But, I mean, it's really I mean, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Luckily, they did it enough times that didn't matter too much for us.
You came out and established the tone in the first quarter. And again, you guys held Logan Jones in check. I mean, the kid toted the rock 33 times tonight. I got him down unofficially for about 170-plus yards. But that offensive front, again, you know, in Class 2A, you're going both ways. But they started winning the battle second quarter, and they were winning the battle in the second half. Then they decided to throw the football, and you got a couple of interceptions from Lakin. But my point is, though, they wore you guys down tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I felt like, you know, it's like that when you're in small school football. I mean, it becomes a battle of attrition at some point. I felt like offensively we ran the ball better than we had all year. We were first game we were in positive yards rushing, so I think that helped us, you know, extend our drives, kind of, you know, handing the ball off 30. I don't know how many times they handed it off, but every play, and then you want them to throw. I mean, that's been the game plan against them, is if you can get them to throw, you're going to be in good shape. So they gave us a couple. We kind of knew they would. Like I said, I thought that our backs, specifically Howell, coming out and kind of having a good physical game, getting some big chunk plays helped us a lot in the run game. You know, we're not like Glenrock. We're not a ground and pound type team. We like to throw it around, but they did everything they could to kind of keep that from happening. Took away Jackson tonight. I thought they did a good job doing that just by alignment. Right. And we knew it was going to be, you know, Howell could have a day, and he did. So I'm proud of sack of him.
All right, let's talk about the importance of the win. First win of the season. Again, conference win. You know, it adds up. You know, the losses that you had, and we'll erase Tongue River, for example. I know they kind of threw you back into the fray after everybody got healthy, but bottom line is it's almost like you're playing must-win games every Friday night now.
That's it. Yeah, we had to win this one. You could kind of tell there at the end we were starting to kind of slip back to expecting to lose or expecting bad things to happen. We just kind of had to snap out of it, stop worrying about officials, stop worrying about when negatives happen, and just play our game. I think like you're saying, every game is a game we got to win. You know, you drop one to Tongue River that you probably should win, and now you play a tight one with Glenrock. next week we got a really good team going back up to Bighorn that we got to go.
That's a traditional powerhouse program year in, year out.
Yeah, I think that would be, I feel good about beating Glenrock. I would feel really, really good after that one.
And again, how much does this spill over? And again, you and me, we know about the Rams. They're great. Right. They're near the top year in, year out, okay? Let's talk about your kids, though. How does that spill over into practice upcoming this week? They got to have a little bit of momentum, confidence.
Right, yeah. We were the cheeriest 0-2 team in the state, I think, here at practice. That's just kind of how we do stuff here. We don't really, we got Monday film to be mad about it and fix it, and then after that, it's still music practice. It's still energy. It's still having fun. Just season's too short. Losing games to COVID. It's too short to have a bummer week and not come with energy, and I'm sure we'll do that again on Monday.
Coach, thanks for allowing us to come out here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm 2 for 2 with you guys. Just remember that.
Hey, come on whenever y'all want. I appreciate it, guys.
Coach Brad Morrison joined us on our post-game show. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. A 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. You are listening to and watching high school football on 1480 KRAE.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
Things up. Again, 26-22. Nick, your final thoughts here on this evening's contest. Again, the game, especially in the second half, that had absolutely bupkis as far as ebb and flow, but they had enough to win it, the Bronx.
Well, you can tell it there by, again, Coach Morrison's just kind of tone there where, hey, it was a win. A win's a win. We'll focus on it. Again, we'll be cheery about it today, but, again, Monday film session, again, we'll focus on and realize, hey, we got a tough opponent that's absolutely going to make us pay for penalties just like that. So, again, got to follow those sentiments saying, hey, there was a lot of positives, a lot of negatives for Burns here today. But, again, the biggest positive for those is that you were in the win column finally. Now you can focus on. Now you know what it takes to win. Now you just got to execute it throughout this, at least through the regular season, and hopefully into the postseason in Class 2A.
When I turned my microphone down, I was going to ask you if we had – well, again, I've been doing like 5 things here and directing traffic up here in the booth. But real quick, do we have an updated score out of Thunder Basin, Cheyenne Central? That is the one score I'm kind of curious because
it looks like it came final 5 minutes ago. Thunder Basin does pick up the victory 10-7. So Central will lose to the Thunder Basin Bolts on the road in a close one. It looked like Central had a chance there at the end of that contest to at least take the lead or at least kick a field goal, but it looks like they will fall short. So Central does fall. So East wins, Pine wins, Burns wins, but South and Cheyenne Central.
Well, Central going up against Thunder Basin, very competitive. Cheyenne South, they're still on the milk carton. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Speaking of South, we got Central and South next Friday from Risky Field, so do join me and Nick again. We'll be live from Risky Field, and we will have the broadcast for you. Indians and the Fighting Bison. Thank yous along the way. Again, thank you to everybody here at Burns High School for all that they did for us this evening. Appreciate it, Barry Ward and the entire crew here. Also, too, want to thank our engineer in training still at the radio station. Want to thank Lanny Dasis, again, from Affordable Computer Repair. Remember, if you need computers fixed up and repaired, or, you want to talk to Lanny about those computers, like laptops and what do you call those things? Notebook ones? Tablets, again, he works on them all, and he fixes them and rebuilds them too. So get a hold of Affordable Computer Repair. So we appreciate Lanny taking care of all of the efforts back at the house. Again, the final score, Bronx win over the Glenrock Herders, 26-22. So for Nick Proietti, I'm Larry Proietti. We wrap things up from Burns, Wyoming, and Capital Roofing Field. Good night. Thank you again.